Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Chrysler Center in Ann Arbor, Michigan, where your Michigan Wolverines take on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. I'm Perry Mourtzinos alongside Jordan Leff. We will have you in the first half before Evan Anderson and Dylan Phillips take over for us in the second. Should be a great game. Michigan opening Big Ten conference play this season. But obviously, Jordan, let's start by talking about Michigan's Feast Week performance, which was just historically special.
I mean, I've never had more fun watching a basketball game in my entire life. They just looked completely dominant against Auburn, and then they looked even more dominant against Gonzaga, if that's even possible. It's really nice to see sort of like the whole team getting involved and all this young talent coming through and the veteran leadership as well.
As Jordan said, Michigan beating San Diego State by 40, Auburn by 30, and then Gonzaga by 40 to clinch the Players Era title. Jackson Lendelberg, MVP, 17.3 points, 7.3 rebounds, 3.7 assists. The do-it-all forward coming up again for Dusty May's team.
Yeah, I mean, he really deserved the MVP of that tournament. Sort of has looked like the best player on the team all year long, but you really could make a case for any number of players to be the best player on this team. All 5 starters averaging over 10 points, and your 6th man averaging, 9.6?
Yeah.
So really well-rounded. They kind of can do it from all sides of the ball. We were talking about before, they really could go with kind of any combination of the 9 guys they have on the floor at once, which is pretty unique and special and an interesting thing. Hopefully it can carry them deep into this tournament here in March.
Rutgers also in Vegas for the Players Era tournament with a little less success, losing their final game to Tennessee. And then on the 3rd of December, losing to Purdue to open their Big Ten conference play. So we will have their second conference game this season. We will quickly pause for the national anthem. After that, though, Michigan Wolverines, Rutgers Scarlet Knights, only here on WCBN Sports.
Basketball fans from around the great state of Michigan and those of you from around the country, welcome to Chrysler Center for tonight's game featuring the Rutgers Scarlet Knights and your University of Michigan Wolverines. We now ask that you please rise and remove your hats and join us as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem. Active duty and veterans may keep their caps on while rendering the military salute. The colors are presented this evening by the University of Michigan Navy ROTC, and the anthem is performed by University of Michigan student Emma Jonas.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Welcome back in to WCBN Sports. Only Michigan's 3rd home game of the year, the first sellout. And Jordan, it was loud during that national anthem. We were just talking about that.
It was. Michigan student doing it for you. The applause after was absolutely insane. I don't think I've ever seen the stadium this packed.
Rutgers will trot out JaMychal Davis, Darren Buchanan, Haroon Zerno, the freshman, getting his first start after the 22-year-old freshman, I should say, getting his first start after spending most of his professional career thus far in Italy. Dylan Grant and Emmanuel Obole starting for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Michigan countering with the traditional big lineup that's really become their trademark under Danny Wolf and Vlad Golden. This year, it's Morez Johnson Jr., Yaxel Lendenberg, and A.D. Mara, along with Ari Burnett. What is so special about this Michigan big lineup that makes them, extremely hard to defend?
Well, I think what's really special about it is, other than Mara, they're kind of all fluid positional players.
Yeah.
Like, none of them are really true bigs, right? You got Yaxel and Morez, really more forwards than true centers, and then, of course, Mara is a tower down low. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely helpful.
We've talked about Will Cheddar off the bench, too, kind of the glue guy of this team, right? He's been here through the bad. More of your stretch four, which is kind of a weird thing to say, even with, Yaxel, who can shoot the three ball very efficiently. And then even at the guard position, extremely deep. You've got Roddy Gale Jr., who was a starter for this team last year. LJ Kaysen, who was really the backup point guard last year, kind of serving in that role, more of a split-time thing with Cadeau, and then also the five-star recruit Trey McKinney. So just a very deep Michigan team.
Absolutely. And they have also shot the ball incredibly well. Ever since that Wake Forest game with a little bit of the shooting struggles earlier in the year, they have absolutely shot the lights out of the ball with McKinney, Cheddar, Gale, and Namari Burnett really has been the story as of late. So lots to look forward to with a heavy fire-powered Michigan offense.
It's a team that has a lot of people here in Ann Arbor, dreaming special because of that switchability and the fact that everybody, if they fill their role, even with Purdue losing today, there's a chance this team is number one in the country next week.
Absolutely. The Purdue loss certainly helps that praise. Duke sneaking past MSU also shines a little bit on that. But, that was a close game.
Close game.
Two very good teams. Very close game. But, what Michigan's been able to do against some elite talent, amazing.
Yeah, and we've talked about that win against Gonzaga, that 30-point win. Gonzaga just beat Kentucky by 40.
Right.
Another top 20 ranked team, a team that will certainly, fall out of the poll this week. But nevertheless, a very good win for the Bulldogs. And that Michigan win, hopefully, if you're Dusty May and the Wolverines, will continue to just keep getting better and keep growing. As kind of the team hits a little low in their schedule, they've got Rutgers, Villanova coming up, but then still huge non-conference game in February against Duke. And then conference play, obviously, with Purdue and MSU is going to be a challenge.
Absolutely. This team's very interesting, too. It's a little bit of a chameleon in that they can kind of match up with any team that they get. If they have a big lineup, they have the bigs to counter. If it's a small team, they have the guards. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but really the only weakness of this team is they've been turning the ball a little bit over with their guard play. Hopefully that's something that's better. What do you think about that?
Yeah, something Elliot Cadeau was a concern coming over from UNC. Certainly an issue that this team had last season as well. And it kind of, as Dusty May says, it kind of comes with playing, fast, right? And they're top 5 defense in the country, even with all those turnovers, which is extremely rare and extremely special. Yeah. Speaks to the testament of really the bigs, and even Cadeau, Burnett, and Gale and McKinney, who are relatively solid on-ball defenders. Really not a minus defender on the team, outside maybe Kaysen.
Right, that's absolutely true. And you look at this team compared to last year's team, and it's just night and day better on defense. And even though you see a little bit of that same turnover tendency, it doesn't worry me as much.
Absolutely. As we get set here for tip-off at the Chrysler Center, the Wolverines will be working left to right there in their whites. Rutgers working right to left in their reds. It will be Mara versus Obole on the tip.
Must be nice for Dusty May and the Wolverines to have a guy that tall.
I've walked by him on campus. I'm sure I'm 5'8", but towers over me.
You see him standing there next to a D1 center, and he's a foot taller than him.
It's ridiculous. Obole wins the tip. Unfortunately, goes right to Morez Johnson, who drops it back off for Elliot Cadeau at the M.
Almost doesn't seem possible that Mara could have lost that tip.
Morez catches the ball on the right wing, dribbles left. Over to Yaxel, his first touch here today. Drives right, fakes the pump out to Cadeau. His three, no good off the back iron. Rebound to Davis. Davis now pushing quickly. He's going to stop. Finds That's Zerno on the wing. Zerno back to Obole. Obole working against Mourtzinos. They switch. Davis now against Johnson. Over into the left corner, over to Zerno. He's got Yaxel on him, dribbling back towards the left wing. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Buchanan with Cadeau back at the end. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Fakes out to the corner. Mourtzinos stays home on the pump fake, goes up. Good defense. Shot missed. Unfortunately, rebound grabbed by Zerno, who goes up against Mara and puts it in. That was a missed shot by Grant, as the Wolverines are going to go right back the other way. Namari Burnett drives. Easy two for Burnett on Zerno.
Great answer there by Burnett, but you cannot have that offensive rebound get let up. That is just inexcusable.
Davis working against Cadeau at the M. 2-2, 18:45 left in the first half. Grant over to Bole, all alone at the top of the key. Davis now. Just going to take a breath over at the M. Rutgers getting deep into the shot clock, less than 10. Obole had the ball poked away. Namari Burnett out of bounds along the baseline. It's going to be baseline inbound for Rutgers. 5 seconds left on the shot clock.
And that seemed close, but really they're doing a good job of getting to the top of that key, but Michigan hasn't really let them inside, so good defense so far by the Wolverines.
Dylan Grant's going to inbound with Mara on him. Looking for Davis. It's tipped by Mara, the 7'2", who passes a lead pass up to Burnett. He's got Davis on him. Smokes the layup. Gets his own rebound. Turns around, kicks out to Cadeau. Cadeau's going to settle things down over Yaxel. Mara now on the right wing.
He thought about it for a second.
He did. Over Yaxel. He's going to take a three. No good. Rebound Mourtzinos cannot corral. It's going to be Zerno. Zerno now pushing for this.
Mari hit that layup, but, you know, the hustle on the rebound. Like to see the fight.
18 minutes left. 2-2 in the first half. Jamarco Davis drives against Mourtzinos. Pull up, fakes out Mara, goes off the glass. In and out. Rebound tipped around. Eventually, Cadeau gets in, now pushing the pace. Over to Burnett. Burnett along the right wing. He's going to drive against Zerno. Stops, fakes. Over to Mara. Mara back out to Cadeau. Gets a screen from Mara. He's going to be trapped. Over to Mara in the center. Drops it down to Mourtzinos Johnson. Up fake and in.
Listen to that crowd. Have you ever heard Chrysler Center this loud for a regular season game?
Not for a regular season game against Rutgers, that's for sure. Poked away by Mourtzinos. Mourtzinos driving up against Grant. Layup off the front rim. Gets his own rebound, puts it back in.
I mean, he just bullied him down low there. He didn't have a chance.
6-2, just over 17 minutes left. That was Davis over to Grant. Poked away by Mourtzinos Johnson Jr. Just a lazy pass there from Rutgers. Zerno along the left wing working against Cadeau.
Michigan looking strong here so far.
Buchanan drives after a screen. Pull it from the elbow. No good off the back iron. Rebound tipped out. Eventually dumps it off to Obale, who kicks out to Zerno. His three, air ball. Rebound tipped around again. Is going to go back to Rutgers. So now it's Davis on the top of the key.
5 on the shot clock.
Davis drives, offensive foul. Going to go back the other way. 6-2 Wolverines, 16:43 left on the clock.
Again, just a really good defensive possession by Michigan. They look attached. They're together. Everyone's moving and switching very well, even though they're playing a little bit of a zone.
Yeah. Roddy Gale checking in for Mourtzinos Johnson Jr.
Already in a press here, Rutgers. About 4 minutes into the game, not even.
Yaxel gets it over half court for the Wolverines. Gives it back to Cadeau, who drives against Zerno. Is going to go up and floats it up and in.
I have no idea how that went in.
What a layup there from Elliot Cadeau.
That was impressive. That was through a forest of hands.
Davis over to Bali. That's poked around by Yaxel, and it's going to be Rutgers' ball. That's a couple passes now that have just been a little lazy that the Wolverines have been able to get their paws on.
Yeah, the ref's going to have to buy him dinner on that one, because if he's not standing there, Yaxel is taking that back for 2. Ball bumping straight into the ref's face.
Buchanan going to be inbound. No one on him. Over Davis in the backcourt. Got Burnett on him. Loud defense claps here from the Chrysler crowd faithful. Davis eventually gets a screen from Obale. Just kind of does a little turn by the hoop. Over to Grant. Floats it up and in over Mara. Good 2 there from Dylan Grant. Cadeau over to Burnett quick. Kind of bobbles it. Eventually regains it. Cadeau now driving against Davis. Just lowers his shoulder. Goes up. It's going to be a foul on Jermichael Davis. And that's going to bring us to the under 16 timeout. 8-4. Michigan leading Rutgers. Jordan, what have you seen from this Michigan team thus far?
I mean, we've been saying it. They just look great on defense right now. Honestly, the offense hasn't been particularly impressive. A lot of missed shots, but they're doing a good job of crashing the boards, getting their own rebounds, making the hustle plays even when the shots aren't falling. probably like to see them be a little bit more aggressive on some of these layups, get it into the big guys.
Yeah.
No reason Namari and Cadeau need to be taking all these layups when you got 3 7-footers on the floor. But, overall I've liked it. 4 points, 5 minutes in, pretty much what you want to see. And probably should have had that fast break at the end there with the ref getting in the way.
It looks like Cadeau especially is really kind of just had an onus on him to just put his shoulder down and just drive to the hoop. Got the foul there on Jermichael Davis. And that's something that you want to see right of your 9 assists against Gonzaga, 9.3 assists and wins this year.
Absolutely.
Allowing you kick it out to those better shooters, but especially on the defensive end. As you said, they appear connected. The one concern is the the offensive rebounding they're allowing.
Absolutely. And, I mean, on the flip side, Michigan's doing a great job of offensive rebounding on their own. So you'd like to see maybe some people follow the shots in instead of trying to push so hard on the fast break. But, I mean, overall, it's hard to complain when you've only let up 4 points.
Absolutely. Rutgers already has 3 turnovers to Michigan's 0. Also has 3 offensive rebound for Rutgers. Most of those have come on some weird misses. We saw Zerno airball a 3 that kind of just eventually got kicked out almost all the way back to half court. So a lot of them have been tipped. It's not like your traditional putback.
Right.
But still, I'm sure that's something that Dusty May is saying in the huddle to these guys.
And credit to Michigan for making them take some unorthodox shots that are producing some sort of weird bounces. Something you want to see, though. I'd love to see a little bit more of Cadeau passing into the big man when he gets inside. And I think part of him trying to shoot so many, not even shoot so many, but get to the basket so aggressively in the first half and even in the first few minutes here will lead to that opening up sort of as we go along here.
Absolutely. Michigan 0 for 2 from deep so far. 1 miss from Yaxel, 1 miss from Cadeau. This game be Cadeau, Gale, Morez Johnson, Lendeborg, and Burnett out for the Wolverines.
Yeah, Michigan going a little smaller here.
Facing the same starting lineup for Rutgers as been the game. Cadeau's going to inbound along the baseline. He's going to have Jermichael Davis on him when we return. There's a little trouble with the cameraman wire over by Cadeau's feet.
Yeah, everyone's trying to get in Michigan's way today. Not sure why that is.
Gale flashes down low. Cadeau kicks it out to the opposite corner. Yaxel, who drives, goes up, and gets the easy 2.
Tough bucket.
Over Dylan Grant. LJ Kaysen getting ready to check in for the Wolverines as Davis now working against Cadeau. Dylan Grant at the block end. Stops, picks up his dribble. Gets it over to Buchanan. Roddy Gale on him. Turner now working against Yaxel. Gets a screen from Abale. He's going to pull up in a 3 over Morez Johnson Jr. No good. Rebound. Little batter around, eventually going to go out of bounds on Rutgers Michigan ball.
It looks like Yaxel thought that was out on him, sort of reaching for it there. Ref had his back turned.
From here, it looked like it was out on Yaxel, but 3,000 view.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
LJ Kaysen in for the game for Elliot Cadeau. Over Rye Gale, as you said, Rutgers continuing the press. Eventually, the Wolverines able to get over half court. LJ Kaysen drives, stops over Morez Johnson Jr. right at the right elbow. He's going to stop, look for Yaxel, is eventually going to flip it back over to Kaysen. He's working against Abale. Little stutter step, picks up his dribble down into Morez Johnson down low, gets it poked away from him, and on the ground is going to be Abale over to Dylan Grant. Dylan Grant's going to try and run with it. Grant working against Burnett, eventually has to pick up his dribble and fouled by LJ Kaysen, who kind of came over to trap him.
Yeah, and see, Michigan's trying to work it in there to the big, which is probably what Dusty's telling them in the huddle, but just a little bit of a wayward pass getting to the
10-4 Michigan, 15 minutes left in the first half. Tariq Francis going to check in this game, as well as Bryce Dortch in for Abale, and I believe it is Buchanan also heading off the floor. So first substitutions of the game for the Scarlet Knights. Into Jermichael Davis. He's got Roddy Gale on him. Was looking for Zerno, backdoor, didn't get it. Over to Dylan Grant. Now it's Dortch with his first touch. He's trying to hand it off to Davis. Eventually gets it on. Is going to have to pick up his dribble right around the right elbow. Looking for somebody to flash open. Poked away by Namari Burnett. On a pass to Tariq Francis. It's going to stay Rutgers ball. Good defense there from the Wolverines.
Yeah, Michigan just continuing to be aggressive on the ball. Attacking all the passing lanes. Always contesting the shots. They just look fast out there.
6 seconds left on the shot clock. Francis into Dylan Gray. He's got Yaxel. Turns. He's going to have to put up a tough shot. Rebound off the front rim is corralled by Yaxel. Yaxel now
blocked.
pushing the pace. Over Mourtzinos Johnson Jr. He's going to swing it into the left corner to Roddy Gale Jr. Looking for a screen. Finds Mourtzinos Johnson Jr. Open, down low, goes up, off the glass and in.
It's an athletic catch right there, looking like a wide receiver.
12-4 Wolverines, 14-10 left here in this one. Francis on the left wing against Kaysen is going to drop it off to Bryce Dortch. Hand off to Jermichael Davis. They're going to switch it. Roddy Gale Jr. now on him. Over Zerno on the right wing, gets by Burnett, going to force up a lefty layup off the glass and in. That one had a little sauce on it.
I mean, that almost went off the shot clock.
Wolverines are going to try and push the pace. Eventually, Kaysen forced to slow down, gets it into Burnett. Burnett drives, goes up, tough left finish, no good. Rebound Zerno. Zerno now pushing the pace. Rutgers has numbers. Trailer over to Jermichael Davis. He kicks it back out. Zerno in the corner. Up fake, 2 guys on him. Eventually picked off by Mourtzinos Johnson Jr. Throws a wayward pass up to Roddy Gale Jr. Tipped around. Eventually, Gale gets his hands on it. Kicks up to LJ Kaysen, left corner. That's a 3, no good. Yaxel rebound. Yaxel goes up and one.
I mean, that was a mouthful right there. You had, what, 3 turnovers in one play, airballed 3, somehow ends up in Lendeborg's hands, puts it up, and of course he gets fouled.
Some kind of sequence there. 14-6 Wolverines as Trey McKinney, freshman's going to check in for Namari Burnett, but Yaxel Lendeborg, the leader on the Wolverines in points, and really just emotionally it appears from what we can see on social media, the #1 player in the portal. His free throws up and in. 15-6 Wolverines, 13:26 left.
It just seems like he's always somehow in the right spot.
Francis working against Kaysen at the end. Gets it in over Caden Powers, who checked in for Jermichael Davis. Dortch fakes a pass to Francis, eventually gets over him. Francis now over to Powers. He's going to take a tough shot, rejected by Mourtzinos Johnson Jr. into the courtside seats behind the hoop.
They're just giving them absolutely no space to do anything. Comes around the screen, puts up the shot, and he's got a 7-footer right in his face.
8 seconds left on the shot clock. Powers trying to inbound, has Johnson Jr. on him. Zerno now dribbling. Over on McKinney's forced to kick out. 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Francis drives in. He's going to get one up left. Right hand layup, no good. Kicked out. Yaxel gets the rebound. Lendeborg pushing the pace. Over to McKinney. Almost traveled. Stops. Gets it to Mourtzinos down.
Great pass. Just a great pass. And that layup on the other end is probably the best look Rutgers has had all game. Half a second left on the shot clock, but there's not really anyone in the way. Has to go up and under. Can't quite finish it. And I mean, that's really just been the story of this game.
Yeah.
Smothering defense.
17-6 Wolverines, 12:46 left as Rutgers and coach Steve Peichel forced to burn their first time out of this one as Mourtzinos Johnson Jr. leading the team with 8 points. Lendeborg has 5, but really all of Johnson's, outside of a couple tough layups, have really come as a result of him making, as you said, athletic catches, looking like a wide receiver and putting it up and in over a smaller defender.
Yeah, I mean, just great passes in by Cadeau, Kaysen, and McKinney. Like that one, right where it had to be, right where he can get it.
Yeah.
I mean, within a quarter of an inch, that's out of bounds the other way. So just really great in passes.
I mean, you said look for the bigs to start getting involved down low, and they certainly have here really after the 16-minute timeout.
I'm sure they're tuning in and listening to us.
It's going to be Chris Woolley checking in for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, also out there with Francis Powers. Buchanan checks back in, and Dortch as the Wolverines now going to try and press.
Yeah, Michigan now in a press, and it's working.
Rutgers having trouble getting the ball over half court. Do it with 1 second left to spare. Is now settling into their base defense.
Gotta love Dusty May in a press, up 11.
Buchanan driving on Johnson Jr. Tries a backdoor window pass over to Woolley. No good. Out of bounds. Michigan ball. As Will Cheddar and A.D. Mara going to check in the game for Yaxel and Mourtzinos. That would have been a very impressive pass by Buchanan, though. Just unable to fit in there.
It would have. And Gale almost jumped over the center trying to go for the block that the shot never happened. So good thing it went out of bounds.
Gale into LJ Kaysen. The sophomore Dustin May got to commit to Michigan after he was originally committed to FAU before May left. Gale gets the ball poked away from him fortunately goes right into Kaysen. He tries to get into AD Mar a little too underthrown as Buchanan's get pushed the pace. LJ Kaysen tries to charge and does so. That's going to go the other way. 17-6, 12:05 left. Kaysen made a bad pass, underthrew, the 7'2" guy and was able to get back on defense.
Yeah, pretty amazing underthrow there. Honestly, not a lot of space on the backside, though, so hard to fault him there. But you got to love to see the kid getting back, making a hustle play, somehow not being in the restricted arc. Very impressive.
Dylan Grant going to check back in for Darren Buchanan Jr. as Gale gets into Trey McKinney. He's going to bring it up with Powers working against him, trying to use Gale as a screen. Gale went back the other way. McKinney looking for help, gets over to Mara. Back over McKinney. He's going to take a shot. No good. Rebound collected by AD Mar. Passes over to Roddy Gale Jr. He's going to go up, gets fouled.
Yeah.
Weird little sequence there from the Wolverines. That's going to be the under 12 timeout, but 17-6 Wolverines, 11:47 left.
And just again, that's a really great hustle play by Mara. I mean, he's 7 feet tall. He's picking that ball up off the floor in the middle of the paint with 3 red jerseys around him, somehow finding Gale. And, I mean, got a little love on the foul call there, but overall, they're just showing a lot of fight.
Absolutely. Wolverines still kind of settling in terms of their shooting, but thanks to, Morez Johnson Jr. and that big lineup have been able to get really whatever they want down low thus far.
Yeah, absolutely. And it also, scoring is important, and that's how you win games. But when you hold your opponent to 6 points basically halfway through the first half, you're going to win a lot of games that way too. So the shots will come. The shots will start falling. But this defense just looks awesome.
Morez Johnson Jr. leading the Wolverines in points with 8. For Rutgers, it is Zerno, Harun Zerno, the 22-year-old freshman, who scored all 13 of his points against Purdue in the second half for the Scarlet Knights. But obviously a concern for Rutgers is, as you said, the lack of ability to score the basketball right now. Only 6 points, 8 minutes into this game, 6 turnovers. Wolverines have 7 points off those turnovers. And when you allow, a team that likes to play fast and likes to do what the Wolverines are able to do, and they can run off makes, they run off misses all the time. But when they're running off turnovers, it's incredibly dangerous for Rutgers.
Absolutely true. Now, Perry, I'm mostly interested in what is happening at half court right now. The PA guy is saying rock, paper, scissors, shoot, and they're throwing their arms up? What's happening here?
Yeah, so this has to be, I don't understand. I mean, it's rock, paper, scissors, they flash on the Jumbotron. But as you said, they're starfishing, they're
There's a gnome action going on. I'm not really sure why they're mixing the two up. But it's very exciting. These kids seem to be having a lot of fun with it. Crowd's very engaged. Not sure why we're doing that, but I'm here for it.
And if we're going to do a rock, paper, scissors, shoot battle, you expect it to be, you standard, just fists against your other hand.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Or giant props, maybe.
Yeah, maybe cards or something. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we could do better next time.
I don't even know what interesting Michigan sing-along, too. Usually it's something relating, you would think, December 6th, about 3 weeks or so, slightly less than 3 weeks. You'd think it'd be some Christmas music.
Yeah, Christmas music would make a lot of sense.
I'm not really sure what this song is.
I can't say I've ever heard this song before, to be honest with you. This fan is loving it, though, on the Jumbotron.
Yeah, it's weird.
He knows the song.
It's weird because if you look throughout the student section right now, some people know exactly what it is, and some people don't have a clue, and you can kind of tell who's who.
I'm a little disappointed the Banana Suit guys and Cookie Monster over here that they don't quite know the song, though.
Yeah.
Seems like they would be more tapped in. Basketball.
Coming out of the under 12 timeout, it's going to be Roddy Gale Jr. at the free throw line here for the Wolverines. 11.5 points per game this year, 3.3 rebounds. Seems to be Axel Lendenberg's best friend on the team as well. Misses the first one off the back iron.
Yeah, these two love their social media.
I can't tell you how many Instagram story sends I've gotten of Roddy and Yaxel and hotel or in an elevator getting food as Gale Jr. able to notch in the lead at 18-6. 6-0 run for the Wolverines over the last minute 39 or so. This is now going to be Lino Mark's first action for Rutgers. He's going to drop the ball off to Kane Powers. He gets a screen from Abole. He's going to drive, take a tough mid-range over AD Mar and make it. And that was butter.
Great shot.
Kaysen and McKinney, Wolverines looking to go. Roddy Gale Jr. going to drive, kick out to Cheddar, fakes the pass, his corner three, no good.
That
Rebound
fake
to
was
Dylan Grant.
gross.
Lino Mark now pushing the pace. Top of the key, he's got 80 Mara on him. A little bit of a mismatch. Dylan Grant gets Roddy Gale to jump, kicks it back out to Mark. Mark over at Cam Powers, top of the key, gets a screen from Ebola. He's going to take a three over Mara. His three's good.
Yeah, 2 good shots there.
18-11 now, Wolverines. Under 11 minutes to play. Rutgers has come out of the under 12-minute media timeout firing. Eddie Mara just inside the paint. Kicks over Trey McKinney along the left wing. Gets a screen from Mara. Was looking for him down low, couldn't get it. LJ Kaysen over Will Cheddar. Will Cheddar back over McKinney. McKinney's going to take a three from the left wing, in and out. Rebound to Obole.
And another good shot that just isn't falling for Michigan right now.
Caden Powers look for a heat check possibly. Gets over Obole. Lino Mark. Top of the key, settling things down right at the end. Over Powers, he's got LJ Kaysen on him. For the third time in a row, going to get a screen from Obole. Take a tough mid-range shot. That one misses. Rebound tipped around, eventually corralled by Will Cheddar. Over LJ Kaysen. Wolverines playing fast. Haven't gone to break since the under 12. Tries to flip it out. Roddy Gale Jr. up fake, gets into the left elbow, makes the mid-range jumper. 20-11 Wolverines, 10:05 left to play.
Yeah, and a good shot to stop the run there. They needed that.
Lino Mark. Over to Woolley. Over to Dylan Grant along the left wing, has Roddy Gale on him. LJ Kaysen goes for the steal on Cam Powers. Powers flips over Lino Mark in the corner. No good. Rebound, A.D. Mara. A.D. Mara over to Kaysen. Kaysen driving. Throws a new real Cheddar. A little too high. Out of bounds. Going to stay Wolverines ball. Cheddar took a shot there.
Yeah, he wanted that alley-oop, though. He was calling for it from half court.
I believe it was Chris Woolley who kind of got him along the face. Dusty May came over to say something briefly. As LJ Kaysen's going to check out of the game, Elliot Cadeau's going to check in. So we're going to head to a review. I'm not entirely sure for what.
I mean, I got to assume this is for an out-of-bounds call. They're not going to call foul on the
I wouldn't think so.
Guess. Yeah, so it's a challenge on the possession here by Rutgers.
And I think it's
court, Michigan.
It looks like a good challenge. It looks like that just went off the hand of Will Cheddar
Yeah,
last.
they're showing it here on the Jumbotron. It does look like it doesn't even touch Rutgers, so
Yeah.
nice of the officials to give us the benefit of the doubt here. But
Rutgers was able to stop that 6-0 Michigan run, and Roddy Gale Jr. got a huge mid-ranger to stop that.
yeah, and that shot was super, super high in the air. Very impressive shot by Roddy Gale, although he's been hitting those all year for us. So very impressive.
As we expected, ruling overturned. It will be Rutgers ball. Down 20-11, 9:46 left in the first half. Once again, it's Perry Mourtzinos and Jordan Leff here on WCBN Sports. Evan Anderson and Dylan Phillips will have you the rest of the way after the halftime break.
Yeah, the energy here in the arena dying down a little bit after this Rutgers run.
Yeah, they've had really 3 timeouts and
yeah, a
short
lot
amount
of
time.
breaks. A lot of breaks.
Scarlet Knights off, I believe.
Yeah, and it's just Michigan again being aggressive, fighting through screens. If you're Dusty May, you're probably not too upset with that.
Dusty May puts in Yaxel, puts in Morez, puts in Namari. Coming off is Cheddar, Gale Jr., and A.D. Mara. So McKinney in for A.D. Mara, but outside that's the starters for Michigan. 9:40 left on the clock. Michigan up 20-11. Inbounded there by Ballow for Rutgers. In down low for Woolley. Gets the tough jelly layup, just missed. Rebound corralled by Ballow, and he gets up and in off the glass. 2013 Wolverines.
A little bit of a travel there. They went uncalled, but it's okay.
Ellie Cadeau, alley-oop to Trey McKinney. He actually shocked over on the left wing. McKinney found himself wide open.
Yeah, I mean, that ball was up, and he went up and got it. That was a statement dunk.
May was a little upset over the failed alley from Kaysen to Cheddar, so eventually went back for his. Cam Powers going to take a step back through from the left wing. No good. Rebound tipped up and in by Fall. Excuse me.
Yeah, a little bit of a lucky tip there, but they're shooting a lot of step back, off-balance threes right now.
Cadeau and Numerez Johnson Jr. down low. He goes off the glass, gets a tough layup.
That might have been blocked in. Probably a goaltend if it hadn't gone in by itself.
24-15 Wolverines, 8-4 you play. As Chris Woolley for the Scarlet Knights gets into Cam Powers. Hard screen set by Byfall on Namari Burnett. Lino Mark dribbling back in towards the M. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Over at Balau. Looking for something. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Balau. 5. Goes up, passes it to Lino Mark. Lino Mark eventually gets a good look, only with 2 seconds left on the shot clock to go. And now both teams starting to score a little bit. Cadeau over to Mari Burnett. Wide open left corner 3. Good for the Wolverines, and their first 3 made here tonight.
Yeah, just an easy look there for Burnett.
27-17 Wolverines, 8 minutes to go. Mark over Woolley. Woolley has some trouble grabbing it. Working against the much smaller Ellie Cadeau. Going to try and bullet him. Eventually gets over at Balau. Over at Powers. Deep 3 against McKinney. No good. Rebound Ellie Cadeau.
Yeah, and a lot of low percentage shots here for Rutgers recently.
Cadeau opts to slow things down. Trying to work on Powers one-on-one. Gets a nice screen from Perez Johnson Jr. Down low, and Johnson Jr. with the left-hand layup off the glass and in.
Great pass. Really get it off the bounce. Just in front of the guy. And then he's too big and just does the rest.
2019 Wolverines, 7:25 to play. Chris Woolley working against Ellie Cadeau. Cadeau goes for the steal. No good. Ball loose on the floor. Both teams on the ground. Eventually finds its way to Axel Lendeborg, who's going to throw it to McKinney. McKinney, reverse layup is good. And that's
Someone lost their shoe.
Someone lost their shoe. It looks like it is.
It's going to be 32 in red.
By fall for Rutgers as Steve Pikal forced to burn a timeout. 7-0 run for the Wolverines over the last minute. 31-17, 7:12 left in the first half.
Yeah, and it looked like he might be able to contest a layup, and then one shoot later.
Impressive little stretch from the Wolverines, and that's what's when the team plays this defense so well. And we always say, run start on the defensive end, and they're allowed to get turnovers, get rebounds, and push the other way. That allows 7-0 run in a minute, and just like that, it was kind of teetering for a little bit, and all of a sudden it's a 14-point lead.
Yeah, like you said, of turning their defense into offense. They get a lot of fast breaks, a lot of turnovers that they create sort of in the backcourt, or in the front court, and they just turn it around and there's no one back, and then Michigan has this crazy speed where they just kind of push down the court. Even Yaxel, who is one of their bigger players, moves pretty fast down the court and it's hard to stop.
Yeah.
So it's very impressive all around.
Perez Johnson 12, that was a rough layup.
Yeah, just to fill you guys in, there's a little bit of a student challenge going on the floor here. I think this guy just needed to make one layup. He's got a basket rack of about 8 basketballs. Totally bricked the first one. He got the second one, though. I think that's all he had to do.
That was something.
Yeah.
A little bit baffled. A little bit baffled by the in-arena games we've seen here today.
Yeah, not a lot of effort really from the Michigan Arena staff in coming up with creativity. But both challenges have been completed successfully. So
it's true.
Lots of people going home happy with prizes.
This is true. 31-17, 7:12 left to play. We return from the under-8 timeout. Wolverines only 1 for 7 from deep. The one made coming from Mari Burnett, who was there.
Yeah, but I mean, that being said, they haven't taken a lot of bad shots.
It's true.
Like, there hasn't been really a 3 that they've taken yet that I was like, okay, maybe past that one. They've all been pretty open looks off good passes. And they haven't played since they were in Vegas a few weeks ago. Not a few weeks ago, but a week and a half ago.
10 days ago,
It's
yeah.
been 10 days. Shaking off a little rust.
It's going Lendeborg, Burnett, McKinney, Cadeau, Johnson Jr. for the Wolverines as Rutgers is going to get the chance to inbound from beneath their basket.
Michigan back in a full court press.
Woolley over to that is Zorro, who gets it over Lino Mark, who gets it over half court successfully. And
Michigan's still able to set up.
Rutgers into their half court offense. Over to Arun Zerno. Over to Chris Woolley. Now it's Lino Mark. Top of the key, takes a shot with 11 seconds left on the shot clock. No good. Rebound. Great rebound from Perez Johnson
strong
Jr.
rebound there.
Cadeau kicks up to Yaxel in the right corner. Back over to Cadeau. Gives a little up fake. Thinks about it again. Cadeau eventually tries to drive. Stops. Pulls up. Mid-range. No good. Balau over to Mark. Cadeau goes for the steal. Unfortunate. Mark over to Balau. Going to try and back down Elliot Cadeau.
Yeah, another aggressive possession by Cadeau on defense.
Eventually going to stop. Gets in and by follow. Hands it off to Lino Mark. Lino Mark tries to go up. Burnett, great defense. Eventually gets a kick out to Balau. His three-pointer goes in and out. Rebound to Woolley, and eventually Rutgers gets a well-earned two-pointer there.
Yeah, and I mean, we just got to be better on the offensive rebounds there. No doubt about it. But 3 really tough shots and a tough rebound to ultimately get the points.
Cadeau to McKinney. He's going to drive, try and finish against Woolley. That's going to be a goaltend and 1 for McKinney. Ended up going in anyway. Initially thought it was going to be a goaltend. But they did call a goaltend, no foul.
Yeah, they'll take the and 1 away, but they did call a goaltend.
Will Cheddar checking in for the Wolverines. Trey McKinney going off, and also checking back in for Rutgers is Emmanuel Bole, as well as Darren Buchanan Jr. coming in for Woolley, and one more, Jamarco Davis coming in for Lino Mark. 5:55 left to play, 14-point lead for the Wolverines, 33-19.
Yeah, so this is another lineup Michigan's like to be going with here. It's not really a true all-big lineup with Cheddar, Johnson, and Lendeborg, but it is a bigger lineup. And so they got a little bit more size with a little bit more shooting rather than that shot-blocking presence and big inside presence of Morrow.
Jamarco Davis on the end. 10 seconds left in the shot clock. Rutgers really hasn't been able inside the three-point lane. Eventually, Zerno does, kicks out to Jamarco Davis. His corner 3, no good. Johnson Jr. with a big rebound for the Wolverines. Flips over to Cadeau. Cadeau coming up the middle of the floor. Stops, drives, thinks about it. A little hesitation over Merez Johnson Jr. Top of the key. He's going to attempt a rare 3 and make it. And the student section's going to love that one.
Yeah, that got the crowd into it. That was butter.
12-2 run for the Wolverines just in the past 3 minutes. Darren Buchanan working against Lendeborg. He's going to stop, try and get a screen from Abale. Lendeborg's going to get over there. Poked away by Cadeau over to Johnson Jr., who flips it back to Cadeau.
Another team effort steal for the Wolverines.
Cadeau over Lendeborg. His 3, good. 39-19 Wolverines. 4:45 left to play.
Yeah, and they're starting to roll here. That 3 was deep.
Michael Davis over Darren Buchanan Jr. Lendeborg has 8 points here tonight.
Buchanan got the crowd back into it.
Over Balau, his layup off the glass, no good. Ball kicked around on the floor. Lendeborg eventually gets it. Left hand over Cadeau. Cadeau, Cheddar, Lendeborg, right corner. No good. That crowd would have exploded if that had gone in. And it's going to be a foul drawn. As Darren Buchanan got the rebound.
Nice little veteran play by Cheddar. I don't know that there was much there, but he sold it well.
Yeah, it looked like a little embellishment as Buchanan went over for this rebound. Oh, no. Left hand kind of hit Cheddar. Little play acting there by Will Cheddar. 39-19, Wolverines, 4:19 left to play. Cadeau going to be able to inbound it, gets it into Merez Johnson Jr. on the right wing. Dribble handoff to Elliot Cadeau. Cadeau's going to stop, go up, layup off the glass, no good. Rebound controlled by Dylan Grant. Over Balau, he's going to traverse the court. Drive in against Cadeau, stops. Over to Awole. Awole throws a pass way too high for Dylan Grant. Outbounds right in front of the Michigan bench. 3:57 left. That's going to be the under 4 timeout. 39-19 Wolverines. 8-0 run over the last 2 minutes. 15-2 run over the last 4:15 or so.
Yeah, and they just look good. That pass, really he was wide open, but Michigan just in the way and forcing that pass to be way higher than it probably needed to be. And just another great defensive possession. They hustle on every single play.
Yeah.
Offense, defense, like it always just seems like they are finding the ball, and it's just really impressive to watch.
And that's the good thing too about being such a deep team is you're allowed to rotate a lot of these guys in with really no, ill effects and keep everybody's legs fresh. Important.
Yeah, and I'm sure it doesn't help that Rutgers is coming off a game with Purdue, who, while not the greatest showing from Purdue today against Iowa State, they looked very good against Rutgers.
Yeah, and still, you're playing in Mackey, tough place to play. But yes.
Very, very true. Nowhere in the Big Ten is easy to play.
It's true.
Once you get into conference play, these games all matter.
It's true. Breslin's tough to play. IU's tough place to play. Since the Big Ten has kind of gone to games, the Wolverines 9-4 in December conference games, 3 straight wins, 4-2 record at Chrysler. Win all time here in this building. So
Really?
this year.
They were close last year.
And then Mari Burnett hit a game winner.
It does help, though, when you have 2 top 5 guards in the NBA draft class on your team.
It's true. No Dylan Harper, no Ace Bailey anymore for the Scarlet Knights. They have gone to the San Antonio Spurs and Utah Jazz. As Jordan said, both top 5 picks in the draft. Ace Bailey had a little bit, some weird stuff going on pre-draft of if he wanted to go some places, didn't want to go some places. I'm sure Dylan Harper is, enjoying his time.
Yeah, he's dropped into a dream situation down in San Antonio.
Getting ready to come back on the floor. 39-19, 20-point lead for the Wolverines, 3:57 left to play. Rutgers, 4 fouls for the Wolverines are in the bonus. Wolverines only have 2 team fouls so far. This first half doing a great job of defending without fouling. It's going to be Johnson Jr., Mara, Cadeau. Roddy Gale Jr. is going to inbound. Not entirely sure who. 5th Wolverine, it's going to be Will Cheddar here in the corner.
Yeah, and I mean, even with the scoring struggles, 39 points with 4 minutes left. If they could get to 50, they'd be on pace for 100 points, which would be, pretty much all you can ask for in college basketball.
Cadeau working on the block M. Got your Michael Davis on him. Going to get a screen from A.D. Mara. Johnson Jr. thought was an oop. It wasn't. It was a missed hook shot there from A.D. Mara. Rutgers
That may have been a pass.
looked a little funny. Battle over to by Fall. Fall gets into Dylan Grant. Dylan Grant going to drive, stop. Airballed it, though, so it's going to be 2 shots here for Dylan Grant. Yeah, unsure if that was a pass down here.
Yeah, it seemed like it was like a sort of a one-handed, it was underhanded. It could have been a shot.
It almost looked like Mara was going to shoot it, and then late kind of saw Johnson have, his peripheral vision, and then kind of was like, shoot, I want to stop and throw the pass. But Dylan Grant inbounding down low to Harun Zerno. He can't get his hands on his, but is fouled by Perez Johnson Jr.
A little bit of a weak foul call there.
So 2 straight fouls on the Wolverines. That is going to be a shooting foul. So Harun Zerno, as we said, the 22-year-old freshman from Bosnia.
A little bit of an interesting, not quite red shirt situation, but nonetheless.
First rebound off the back iron. 39-19 Wolverines, 3:28 left to play. Yaxel Lendenberg checks back in for Perez Johnson Jr. Zerno's second shot from the charity stripe is good. Yaxel into Cadeau. Jermichael Davis trying to be a pest. Cadeau able to get over half court. Dribbles left. Loses it for a second, able to get back. Looking for Mara down low, gets into him. Tips it over to Rye Gale Jr. Gale Jr. out to Cheddar. Cheddar up fakes, kicks it back out to Cadeau. Cadeau 3 from the right wing. Good.
Just another really great possession. Lots of passes. Mara getting a little lucky tipping it to Gale underneath, but they just look connected.
Jermichael Davis over to Zerno on the left wing. Has to pick it up against Cheddar. By Fall, dribbling. Roddy Gale Jr. tried to tip it away. Yaxel tried to tip away the pass over Jermichael Davis, who misses a shot from the baseline. It's going to be a foul on Gale Jr.
I don't know about that one. That's another little bit of a weak foul call. To the refs' credit, up until this point in the last probably 2 calls here, they've been doing a good job of letting them play, but those last 2 are just a little ticky-tacky.
Looked like an off-ball foul. Grant over Jermichael Davis. He's got Yaxel on him. He's going to kick it down to Battle out, Dylan Grant gets the ball down low against A.D. Mara. Tipped off the side of the backboard. And now Gale Jr. is going to try and push the pace. Roddy dribbling left, low screen from A.D. Mara. Tries to drop it back off to him. It's going to be off of Dylan Grant's foot. It's going to stay Michigan ball, 42-20. Wolverines 2:26 to play.
Yeah, not a bad idea there. He would not have had the layup, so probably a good idea that he's looking for. Everyone just kind of went up in the air. Ball got caught up in all the legs.
L.J. Kaysen and Trey McKinney checking in for Elliot Cadeau and Will Cheddar. He gets a little piece of advice from his head coach, Dusty May. Rutgers with these late substitutions. Ray's play's about to resume. That's Tariq Francis checking back in for Jermichael Davis. LJ inbounds over Yaxel, gets at the top of the key, gets a screen from A.D. Mara, stops, tries to throw it up for A.D. Mara, is tipped and goes in. I think they're going to call offensive goaltending on A.D. Mara. Yaxel tried to throw a pass. It got tipped. It went in. But I think A.D. Mara may have interfered
like
with
he touched
it some
the
way.
rim maybe. But I mean, that ball didn't even hit that net. That was straight up and down.
That was weird. Francis over at Byfall on the left wing, little handoff to Arun Zerno, who's going to pass it back up to Kane Powers. He's going to take a tough mid-range jumper over McKinney and make it.
Yeah, he's hit a few of those now.
Yeah, he has. 42-22, under 2 minutes left in the first half. Gale Jr. going to drive against Zerno. Fishes with the right hand. Good layup there from Gale.
Tough layup. Put his body in there, got the shoulder in, high off the glass. Very nice.
Michigan doubling up Rutgers. 44-22, 140 left to play. It's going to be Kane Powers working against McKinney. Gets a screen from Byfall. Another hard one. He's going to take a tough jumper over A.D. Mara. He's going to be able to get out there, get a piece of that. Gale Jr. 2-on-1 against Francis. Drops off to A.D. Mara. Relatively easy dunk for the 7'2".
And just going back to that screen for a second, McKinney's built like a linebacker, but he ran into an absolute wall there on that screen.
46-22 Wolverines. 1:15 left to play. It's Francis working against Gale Jr. Francis drives left, stops, kicks out at Arun Zerno. His corner three is good.
Nice shot there by Zerno.
LJ Kaysen gets the ball, going to try and push the pace. Kaysen over McKinney in the corner. McKinney extra pass over Gale Jr. His three, no good. A.D. Mara had position. Byfall really had no choice but to foul him.
Yeah. And a good shot there by Gale. I don't think he was expecting the pass. I don't think McKinney was expecting the pass in the corner. And then sort of just maybe a little bit rushed, but he was wide open.
A.D. Mara's going to go to the line for a 1-and-1. 46-25, 56.4 seconds left to play. Mara, 2 points, 3 rebounds tonight. 10 minutes. Mara's first one, good. So he gets a reward of the second one. 47-25 Wolverines.
Yeah, one thing you can say about this Michigan team is they've just been a really good free throw shooting team all year.
Mara's second one from the charity stripe rattles on in. 48-25, 56.4 seconds left to play. Rutgers most likely going to try for the 2-1 opportunity. Gets into Francis over Arun Zerno quickly. Now Francis forced to slow it down as Gale Jr. is going to trot out there to guard him. Francis right to block M. He's going to stop, get the ball into Bryce Dortch, who hasn't played a lot tonight. Dortch over to Francis. Francis fakes the step back, thinks about it, kicks it back out of Powers. Powers stops. Arun Zerno in the corner, no good. And Wolverines here going to be able to hold for the last shot. Under 25 seconds left to play. 48-25. LJ Kaysen just trying to slow the game down. Eventually going to call timeout. Allow Dusty May to drop something left. 19.6 seconds left in the first half.
And I don't know about you, Perry, but I love that Dusty May is aggressive enough to call a timeout with 20 seconds left in the first half. Basically up 25 points. I mean, most coaches probably would say there's no need. It's probably Dusty and Tom Izzo, the only ones mad enough to try and get another shot off here.
And we've talked about how earlier in the year, right, the Wolverines were kind of playing with their food a little bit. People thought they were overrated. Clearly they heard some of that going into Vegas. And, you know, returning home, you're a little concerned about the layoff. We saw it a little bit early. Their shot was kind of maybe left on a plane. But since then, they've been.
Yeah, they definitely got it off the plane for these last few games. They just look great. And I mean, on pace again, basically to score 100 points, which, like we said, that's all you can ask for in college basketball.
It's going to be a side out. A.D. Mari, Axel Lendeborg, Trey McKinney, Elliot Cadeau, Roddy Gale Jr. out there for the Wolverines. Grant, Powers, Davis, Dortch, and Woolley out there for Rutgers. Yaxel inbounds it to Cadeau in the backcourt. Cadeau swings it back over Gale Jr. 15 seconds left to play. Cadeau at the block M. Gale Jr. now on the left wing. Can get back into Cadeau in the low post. Spin move, drives in, goes up, misses. Gale Jr. follows it and gets the tip to go. 50-25 Wolverines. Quick inbound. Davis Up to Woolley, tipped around, eventually falls in the hands of McKinney. He's not going to get a shot off, but that's going to end the first half.
And just another great hustle play and another steal. This has been the story of the game all day.
Baseline drive by Cadeau. Able to corral the offensive rebound with Rygale Jr., who laid it back up, and then 50-25 Wolverines. Wolverines shooting 58% from the field, 33% from deep, 80% from the free throw line. Merez Johnson Jr. leading the team in points with 15 at the break. Yaxwell has 8, McKinney has 6, Cheddar has 7.
Just another great team effort. They play together, they play connected. It's really just been the story of the whole season, and it's fun to watch.
Haroon Zerno leading Rutgers in points with 8. Caden Powers has 7, as we said, with a couple of tough-made baskets. What, if you could point out the singular most impressive thing for the Wolverines in that first half, what do you think it was?
I mean, scoring 50 points is impressive, but it's got to be the defense. I mean, you hold a team to 25 points in a half, and that is with some really, really tough shots that they made.
Yeah.
They hit some step-back threes, some pull-up jumpers on the elbows. I mean, a couple of Devin Booker-like looking mid-range shots there, but, I mean, their defense has just been so, so impressive.
Yeah. Rutgers does have 10 turnovers tonight, thanks to that, I would say, swarming Michigan defense. But that'll do it for myself, Perry Mourtzinos, as well as Jordan Leff. Stay tuned for the second half right here on WCBN Sports. It will be Evan Anderson and Dylan Phillips. They'll be back in about 12 minutes, but while you guys wait, we'll cue up the Simon Says in-game post that everybody in the sold-out Chrysler crowd gets. But thank you for stay tuned for the second half. Evan Anderson, Dylan Phillips will have this broadcast in about 10 minutes.
The warmth that you're showing me, and look at it. Once again, I don't know how they've done it. They found the best Simon Says players in the history of Ann Arbor. We have 2 teams. Who's going to win? Will it be someone on team number 1? Or will it be someone over here? Simon Says both teams. High five! Oh, man. By the way, before we start the Simon Says, I always do this. It's a tradition. Can we please show a little love to the coolest kids on campus? It's the Michigan Pep Band! All right, here we go. Team number 2, relax, pay attention. Team number 1, here we go. Hands up, and you're out. You are the worst player ever. Simon says hands up, Simon says wave, Simon says stop, hands down, and you're out. You're out, you're out. Thank you very much. Yeah, don't cheat, just go. Yeah. Here we go. Simon says hands down. Simon says run, Simon says stop, hands up, you're out. Yeah. You know what? You're cool with those glasses. You're back in, my friend. Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't say Simon Says. You're out again. You are not good. Here we go. Simon says hands on head. Simon says tap. Stop. You're out. Simon says hands down. Nice. Everyone come a little bit closer, please. You're out. You're in. Yeah. See, here's a man who pays attention. Simon says, nice job, brother. All right, here we go. Simon says, put up your left hand. Simon says, wave it. Simon says, stop, both hands up. Simon says, both hands up. Wave it around. You're out. You're in the finals! Simon says, what's your name? Elma? Emma. All right, Emma, while I'm playing, Simon says over there. Simon says tie your shoe, okay, so nobody gets hurt. Here we go, team 2. Here we go, team 2. Here we go. Hands up. You're killing me. Oh. Simon says up, down. Simon says run. Simon says stop. Hands up. You're out. Simon says hands up. Hands down. You're out. Simon says hands down. Faster. Hands up. You're out. Here we go. Move down, please. Move down. You're out. Here we go. See, the ladies know how to listen. Move down, please, move down. Simons, 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 stop. Beautiful. Here we go. Simons' head, Simons' hips, Simons' head, Simons' hips, Simons' nose, Simons' belly, Simons' nose, Simons' belly, Simons' ears. Simons' lean forward. Stand up straight. Everybody saw you. Simons, stand up straight. Hands up, hands up. Yeah. That was cute, though. She tried to go with the hair. Simons' hands up, wave it around. If you're waving, you're out, you're out. Simons' wave, Simons' stop, hands down, yes, and yes. Move down, please, move down. Simon says move down. Nice job. Yeah. Simons' stop, hands down, you're out. Yeah. Simons' hands down. I like the face you gave me when I said move down. You're like, no, Steve Max. Like that. Here we go. You're the last guy standing. Simons is up, Simons is down, Simons nose, Simons belly, Simons nose, Simons belly, Simons ear, Simons nose. Hands up. Simons is hands up, hands down, and hands down, Simons is hands down. Run in place, Simons is run. Simons is run, Simons is stop, hands up, hands up. Yeah, that's right, Michigan, that's right, you go to Michigan. Oh, nice job, you broke it. All right, here we go. Let's go. Emma, and what's happening? Just put it in your pocket, man. What's your name? Jake. Jake and Emma, there's only one way to settle this. Simon says, dance off! I've seen enough. What's the matter with you, man? Holy cow. I was gonna say nice job with the sprinkler, and then he does his little monkey move over there, which is totally amazing. You know what? I expect nothing less coming here to Michigan. You know what? I'm in a good mood. I'm really in a good mood. I'm back here at Chrysler with the best fans in the nation! Look at that guy. So, you are both Simon Says champions! Stay here. Here we go. Simon says, this is for you. Simon says, this is for you. Want to wish you all happy season. And Simon says, let's go Blue!
Let's hear one more time for the master of Simon Says, Steve Max.
Jordan, do you want to sit here? Three, two, one. Level up, 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 level up. All this on me so yummy, all this stuff so yummy. No, you want this yummy, yummy all in your tummy. Level up, level up, level up, level up, level up, level up, level up. Level up, level up, level up. All this on me so yummy, all this sauce so yummy.
Michigan Wolverines.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Chrysler Arena here in Ann Arbor. My name is Evan Anderson, here joined by Dylan Phillips. We are going to be broadcasting this second half here of Michigan versus Rutgers men's basketball. The score is 50-25 now coming out of halftime. Got a minute until play starts again. What did you see in that first half?
Well, I'll tell you what, first of all, the fan energy here is nuts.
Oh, yeah.
This is a sold-out Chrysler Arena, and you can hear it. The energy is louder than anything I've ever heard at Chrysler during my time here at Michigan. And I just have to say that I think it's helping the Michigan basketball team a whole lot. They're playing phenomenally. 50-25 by halftime. They have a chance to have their fourth 100-plus point game of the season, and this is only their 8th game. That's a lot. And look, this game is so far a bit of a blowout, but there's something that I have to say, and that is that Michigan probably needs to clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree. There's been a couple passes that have been deflected, ricochets. There's been a lot of weird plays, a lot of plays where, like, you know, someone thinks it's an alley-oop and not. Like, there's been a lot of plays that have been tipped, and Michigan has kind of got some of these lucky bounces. We'll see how some of these bounces go in the second half here. One thing I will say, I mean, you talked about cleaning it up. So far in the, first half, it wasn't too dirty in terms of a stat perspective. I mean, Michigan only had 4 turnovers, which, if you've been following Michigan basketball last season and the beginning of this season, like, that's good. That is good to really cut down on those turnovers.
Yeah.
That's also been the big difference. I mean, Rutgers has had 10 turnovers so far this game. The other big difference I've seen is, I mean, Michigan's shooting almost 60% from the field compared to Rutgers, who's only shooting 34.
And they're getting the ball down to the base of the basket very well. They're drawing a lot of fouls. They were in the bonus at the end of the half.
Yep.
So here we go. The half is about to start.
Yes.
Michigan, we've got Johnson Jr., we've got Cadeau, we've got Lendenborg, we've got, who do we got? We got Mara.
Scarlet Knights, we're going to have Tyreke Francis on, Tyreke Francis on the court, Powers, Dylan Grant, Harun Zerno, and Emmanuel Obole. And it's going to be Rutgers is going to start with the ball for this second half.
The first half was a fast-paced.
It was. And now here we start with the ball. Tyreke Francis with the ball at half court, guarded by Cadeau. Looking for a pass. He passes it to Obole at the top of the key, guarded by Mara. Gives it back to that's Powers. Powers takes a floater from the free throw line, misses. Rebound Mara. Cadeau's going to take it up the court for Michigan. Guarded by Powers. He's on the wing. He's looking for a pass. Passes it to. That's going to be. Amari Burnett has the ball now. It's going to be Johnson now. Takes a floater, misses it, but rebound by Mara. Could not put it back in. Rutgers ball. It's going to be Tariq Francis now coming up for Rutgers. He's on the wing, guarded by Burnett. Passes it out to Grant. And Zerno, and back to Powers. Powers on the wing. Takes a floater off the glass. Ricochets, does not go in. Mara with the rebound gets it to Yaxel. Yaxel taking it up the court. No good. Rebound Mara. Mara passes out to Cadeau, who's immediately pressed there by Powers. Cadeau keeps the ball, though. He's on the left wing. Double teamed. Nice spin move there. Gets it out to Yaxel in the corner, and that's going to be no good. Good rebound there by Mara. Gets it back to Yaxel right under the basket. Could not contain that pass, though. It's going to be out of bounds. Rutgers basketball.
Yeah, lost possession there. Rutgers is going to take the ball up from the base of the court if they can get anybody down there to the sideline. But so far, to start the second half, the pace of play has been a lot slower.
And a little bit sloppier, too, I'd say.
A little bit sloppier.
A couple turnovers here for both teams.
I think it's important, for Michigan that they just sort of slow down.
Zerno now finds Grant. He's going to take a floater from the elbow there. Does not make it. He was blocked there by Mara. Mara's had a lot of blocks so far this game. That's going to be his third block of the game. He had 2 late in the first half. It's going to be Rutgers basketball for a
Mara, the 7'3".
Yep. He's guarding the inbound. Grant still was able to find Obole. Obole then gets it to Francis. Francis now for Zaroun. And that's going to be a good, nice three-pointer there for Zerno.
Yeah, Zerno's had a great game for the Scarlet Knights so far.
Cadeau with the ball now. Guarded nicely by Grant. He passes it out to the top of the key. That's going to be good for Morez Johnson Jr. from the top of the key for 3.
Johnson Jr. found himself wide open at the top of the key. Had all the time in the world to make that shot.
Now Francis with the ball for the Scarlet Knights, guarded by Cadeau near half court. Going to set a screen for him. Francis driving. Guarded by Yaxel now. He finds Zerno. That's a nice pass there. Nice lay by Zerno. Cadeau now taking it up for Michigan. He's going to go and find Mara at the top of the key. Passes it out to Amari Burnett. To Yaxel in the corner. He takes a shot. That's going to be good for 3.
Yaxel with another three-pointer. Cadeau doing a great job of finding people to make the clean shots wide open.
Yep. Francis now at court, guarded by Namari Burnett. Obole's up there too. Sets a screen. Francis now with the ball. Still guarded by Namari. Good defense there, but he's able to squeak around him. Makes the layup and one from Tariq Francis there. It's going to be a foul on Namari Burnett.
Great defense by Burnett, but he sort of ran himself into a traffic jam at the base of the hoop.
Yeah. Nice move by Francis to kind of drive into traffic where he knew Burnett was going to get lost. That was a nice move there.
Burnett had his eye on the basketball, and he did not have his eye on where he was going, and he ran his way straight into a bunch of Scarlet Knight guys.
Frankly, a couple Wolverines there too in the mix. There was just a lot of bodies there in the paint.
A lot of bodies. Is this 1 or 2 shots? I can't tell.
It's going to be 1. Tariq Francis makes the free throw for the N1. It's going to be Morez. Oh, nope, never mind. It'll be Cadeau inbounding the ball. As we have little under 17 minutes left to go in the second half. 56-33 Michigan. Roddy Gale now in the game with the ball. Finds Cadeau at the top of the key. Near the M. Just gets around him, drives to the basket. Nice layup, blocked. They're going to call a foul, it looks like. That was blocked by fall. Oh, no, never mind. They're going to call goaltending there, so basket counts. That's going to be falls. We've had a couple goaltending calls so far this game.
Yeah, one of them earlier in the game was interesting. I was a bit confusing to see it live, but I think what happened there is, I don't know if it was Cheddar or one of our other big guys, but he sort of grabbed onto the rim.
Yeah. Now Powers with the ball. It's going to be tipped off of Roddy Gale as he's defending that. It's going to be Rutgers possession now.
Definitely seeing goaltending called more on Michigan. They're such a tall team, such a big body team that they sort of find themselves in these positions.
Yep. It's going to be inbounded by, that's going to be Powers.
Yeah, Rutgers ball inbounding right in front of the Michigan bench, and the Michigan crowd is booing.
Peichel's arguing, the coach Peichel for Rutgers is arguing with the ref about something. Michigan has a pretty high press going on right now, but Scarlet Knights are able to beat it. Alley-oop to Fall, and he could try giving him an alley-oop. Now Lindenberg on the press, gets it to Gale, and he dunks it for 2.
You can hear Chrysler Center erupting.
Oh, yeah.
As I said at the top of this half, the crowd here is just electric. The student section is loud.
Yep. Tariq Francis at the M. Nice screen there by Fall, but he loses his dribble, but gets it back. Guarded by Namari Burnett. Finds its Powers along the wing. It's going to be a foul there on Roddy Gale as he was trying to guard him, prevent him from driving to his right. I'm still confused a little bit by what Steve Peichel was there arguing about the ref about.
He's talking to the ref right now. He's still having a discussion with the referees.
He's been pretty fired up so far this game.
He has been. There's been a lot of times yelling at his players after allowing points on fast breaks.
Yep. Inbound. Oh, sorry.
So, no, you're good. Take over.
Oh, hard screen there.
Rutgers set a screen against Roddy Gale, and Gale ended up hopping away from it all the way back to 3/4 of the way down the court.
That's pretty hard to look at screen there. By Fall went to go give a screen for Tariq Francis,
yeah.
And Roddy Gale came charging full steam at him. Both of them looked a little bit banged up on that. And again, like we're saying, Steve Peichel was there discussing with the refs.
And he still is. He's talking to 2 refs right now. Or no, he's not. One of his other guys is. But the Rutgers coaching staff in general seems to be taking issue with the score. We're in a stoppage of play right now.
Yeah.
It's 60-3 Michigan. 60-33. You've got 16 minutes to play. Your team is getting beat. It's tough. That takes a toll not just on players but the coaching staff as well.
Yeah, I mean, so far, I think you said it earlier in another break we had. Again, pace of play so far this half, a little bit slower. I mean, we're 4 minutes in, and the scoring has been a little bit slower. Passes around. We're celebrating a veteran now on the court.
We are.
I know. So we had a break right here. We were talking about it. The halftime show that we had here in Chrysler Arena was one of the best halftime shows I think I've ever seen.
It was definitely the best halftime show I've ever seen.
There was a man that came and played Simon Says with a whole group of people from the student section. It was electric.
I've actually seen him on my social media before. Just he tries to trick a bunch of students who are in this halftime performance, and he basically does a team-on-team Simon Says, and whoever's the last person standing walks away with a little prize. He gets to say they're the champion. But tonight there was actually 2 champions, and they had a dance-off at the very end, and the guy who was losing the dance-off at the very last moment did a backflip, and the guy running the halftime show was just so blown away by the backflip that he just had to sort of give both of them the prize. But,
One thing I'll say, so now we get back to the basketball. The current trend right now, both teams are shooting 100 on their last shots are shooting 100%. Rutgers is 3 for their last 3. Michigan's 4 for their last 4. So pretty accurate shooting right now in these last couple stretches of the game.
I think that's a symptom of the fact that the pace of play is slow.
Yeah, exactly. You've been having more time to get good looks.
Both teams doing a great job of finding open men. By Michigan, it's Cadeau drawing men away, getting the double team so we can find an open man. With Rutgers, it's a lot of this a screen and go. I think that as this half progresses, we're going to see the pace of play increase dramatically. I think Michigan is just conserving their energy right now because they don't need to be expending it.
On the court now for Michigan, Trey McKenney is in and LJ Kaysen also in. Kaysen with the ball is going to try and find it. He's back at half court, looking for a pass, guarded by Francis at half court along the M. Pretty aggressive defense there by Francis. Gives it to Yaxel, who then gets it to Gale in the corner, guarded by Zerneau. He drives on the baseline, goes for a layup. Makes it and one. Oh, no, they're going to say stepped out of bounds, maybe.
Oh.
Fans here in Chrysler Arena don't like that. Gale kind of drove up the baseline, guarded there by Fall.
Unfortunately, we're on the other side of the arena with our press box viewpoint, so we can see what happened there. On the video board, it's also still undefeated.
No, they're going to call a foul on the court, so Michigan ball inbounds it. Yaxel now at the top of the key. A lot of bodies. Finds LJ Kaysen along the wing, goes for three, makes his shot. 3 for Kaysen.
Nothing but net for Kaysen. Both of the lead guards for this team.
Quick inbound there by
Kaysen
Rutgers.
have been electric.
All the way to Zerno in the corner. Tariq Francis now with the ball at the M. Was quick to get it to the other side of the court. Now Tariq Francis driving to the basket, gets it to Dylan Grant, who makes a layup on he made it on Morez Johnson Jr. That was a nice tough layup right there.
Both teams scoring with efficiency.
Yep. LJ Kaysen passes to Trey McKinney. Trey McKinney finds Yaxel in the corner, could not get it to go. Tough rebound there. Morez Johnson gets it. He fouled before his shot.
Yaxel's got to be careful here. He's got his shirt entirely untucked. I don't know if it's the same in college, but I believe that could be a technical.
Yeah.
Team's third.
He just tucked it up.
And I apologize, actually. That was Morez was fouled on his shot, so he's going to be 2 free throws for Morez Johnson.
Morez Johnson Jr.
Now somebody talk to him on the break.
Good. Don't want any stupid reasons here to get any technicals.
All right, here comes the free throw.
Makes the first one. Nothing but net there.
Checking in for Rutgers, number 15, Javante Ware.
Substitute here for the Scarlet Knights. Javante Ware coming in for Byfall. Second free throw on the way in just a moment here for Morez Johnson Jr. It's 19 points. Makes his second. That's going to be 20 points for Morez Johnson Jr. What a night he's having.
And his night is not done.
Yep. Powers with the ball now. Michigan's pressing deep in Rutgers' side of the court. Tariq Francis now finds Zerno in the corner. Zerno's going to look for a pass, guarded by Trey McKinney. Pass it back to Francis. Francis is at the M.
There's nobody in the key right now.
Nope, absolutely no one. Now it's going to be Dylan Grant now with the ball. Gets it back to Francis. Still guarded by Trey McKinney. Finds Zerno along the wing. Goes for a three. Could not make it. Rebound, Yaxel. Michigan's going to press the court now. Oh, a little bit of an errant pass there by LJ Kaysen. Francis could not get it, though. Michigan retains possession.
I don't know how he kept that going out of bounds.
LJ Kaysen now with the ball on the wing, guarded by Powers. He's going to drive to his right, drive right up the middle to the basket. Gets swatted. They're going to say it was out of bounds on Tariq Francis. It's going to be an inbound here by LJ Kaysen. Couple substitutes. Mara's coming in for Morez Johnson Jr.
What a night for Morez Johnson.
And again, like you said, not over yet. We still have 14 minutes left in the second half. 65-35. 3 in the corner for McKinney. Makes it off the inbound. That was a nice little set piece there by Michigan to get Trey McKinney open in the corner. There was nobody near him.
Unbelievable. The shooting proficiency for Michigan tonight has just been disgusting.
Francis now at half court. Guarded there by Yaxel. And Mara drives to his right. Takes a shot from the elbow. Makes the mid-range shot from the elbow. Inbound now by Mara. LJ Kaysen. Michigan's moving fast. Slows it down a little bit now. Yaxel finds McKinney in the corner. Drives along the baseline. He's going to go up. Never mind. He's going to pass it to Roddy Gale in the corner, who then drives into the paint. Finds LJ Kaysen in the corner. Bang! That's a 3 for LJ Kaysen. Another 3 for LJ Kaysen this half.
LJ Kaysen is on fire from three-point range.
And now Rutgers' turn now. They're moving quick. Dylan Grant along the wing. He's going to try and find, that was Javante Ware along the block. He's going to be fouled there by Roddy Gale before he can get a shot off at the block.
Keeps banking these three-pointers, and Rutgers just doesn't know what to do to respond, because when you have that much efficiency from not just one guy, but 3 to 4 different guys across not just your starters, but your bench players, the depth of this Michigan roster is just unbelievable, and Rutgers just doesn't know how to respond.
Inbound. Inbound here for Rutgers. Stolen by Yaxel. Finds Roddy Gale. They have numbers. Back to Gale. Oh! He passed it to McKinney, and he passed it right into the hands of Lino Mark. Now it's going to be Rutgers' ball. Finds Grant in the corner. Makes his 3. Sloppy play there by the Michigan Wolverines. They had numbers, and Trey McKinney passed it right into the chest of Lino Mark. He's not going to not capitalize on that play.
Yeah, there's 3 points lost there.
Trey McKinney now. Mara at the top of the key. Working on Javante Ware. Gives it to Yaxel. Takes a 3 from the wing. Bang! Makes it. What a streak Yaxel's been going on in these past 5 or 6 minutes. 74-40 here with 12:30 left in the second half. Rutgers has the ball. Dylan Grant working on Yaxel. Double teamed a little bit. Gets it out to Badalau at the top of the key. He's looking on the wing. He's going to pass to Javante Ware on the block. Guarded by Yaxel. Tries to go for a floater. Could not make it. Rebound, though, for Rutgers by Badalau. Dylan Grant now driving into the basket. Goes for a floater from the free throw line. Does not make it. It's going to be LJ Kaysen now pressing the advantage. LJ Kaysen with his another three, and he makes it. He is 3 for his last 3 on 3-point shots. LJ Kaysen is on fire. Feed the hot hand.
I'm actually losing my mind right now. I cannot believe what we're witnessing. This is championship level basketball for the Michigan Wolverines. They continue to knock down difficult shots, open shots, whatever shot they have, it doesn't matter. They make it. It's unbelievable. The chemistry of this team is something that I have not seen on a basketball team with my own eyes in my entire lifetime.
Yeah. Now we have a break and play here for a little bit as Michigan is up 77-40 here with 12 minutes left in the second half. It's going to be possession to Rutgers after LJ Kaysen made that 3 again.
Student section's getting into it. It's good to see that the student section and the whole crowd really is still getting into this game. You know, there's sort of 2 things that can happen where either you're getting blown out of a game or you're blowing somebody else out in the game, and so the team doesn't, the crowd doesn't want to get into it because either it's just not interesting enough. But the way that Michigan is going about blowing out Rutgers right now is simply so entertaining that the crowd just can't help but get excited about it. There's so much to love about this team. And don't get me wrong, Rutgers is not a bad team. They're running into a 7-0 Michigan team who just won the tournament in Las Vegas, who just put on a massive performance against Gonzaga in Vegas.
It's Auburn in Vegas also. Yeah, it's hard. Michigan is on fire right now, but I think one of the biggest things, and you mentioned a couple minutes ago, is the balance, the spread that Michigan is scoring these points with. We have Michigan almost has multiple guys all in 10 plus points. You see. We're going to go down the line. Obviously, Morez Johnson with 20, Yaxel with 14, but then you also have Trey McKinney with 9, LJ Kaysen with 9, Roddy Gale Jr. with 9. It's been spread all over the place in terms of 3-point shooting and just, points in the paint, points in the mid-range. They've been spreading it well, which is something that, like you said, that is how you build a team for longevity. If you can not have to rely on one player and spread the ball, it makes an opposing defense wear thin. That's what we've been seeing with the Scarlet Knights. They're having trouble picking up players because everyone's hot. It's hard to guard just one guy that's hot because everyone's hot.
You can't pick a guy to double because everyone is a threat.
Yep.
And just to illustrate what we're talking about here, Morez Johnson Jr., he's 6'9". Ade Mara, 7'3". Yaxel Lindenborg, 6'9". Even Will Cheddar, 6'8". But then you've got these incredible performances from your guards with Trey McKinney and LJ Carson, who are respectively 6'4" and 6'2".
Yep.
And Elliot Cadeau is 6'1". Burnett is a sort of a versatile player.
Yep.
He's 6'5". So you've got this wide spread of player profiles who are all putting on great performances.
Yep. Inbound now for the Scarlet Knights. It's going to be Lino Mark taking it up the court himself. Finds Woolley. It's going to be Zerno on the wing. Gets it out to Fall at the top of the key. He's guarded by LJ Kaysen there. Lino Mark working on Trey McKinney. Oh, good pass there to Mara in the paint. Misses his first shot and misses his second shot. He got his own rebound. He's looking for a little bit of a foul there.
Yeah, but it was deflected off Rutgers, and it went out of bounds to the sideline. So Michigan, after we come back from yet another stoppage of play, will be inbounding at their own basket.
Another timeout there. Little bit messy there for Michigan. That was a nice 3-point shot there by Caden Powers. He received the pass. Cheddar was from the corner.
Yeah, Cheddar didn't do anything wrong there. It was really great defense from Cheddar. Cheddar, as you know, is a great defender. And so just a really solid shot. And that's really what we've been talking about. It's not that Rutgers is not scoring efficiently, finding open shots. they're playing well. But I do think the biggest problem for Rutgers right now is that there's a bit of a size mismatch.
Yes. Yeah, we were talking about it a little bit pregame. I mean, in the trends for college basketball, Michigan has definitely been, a lot of teams have been going smaller, have to get more playing time out of your guards, a lot more like technical play. But Michigan's been going bigger. And a lot of times, sometimes when you see a team go bigger, you know, you're not as technical, you're not as, this Michigan team are extremely athletic. I mean, Morris Johnson, Mara, Yaxel, all of them can finish around the rim. They're quick. They have quick lateral agility. I mean, and you're right, the size advantage is just what has made a big difference in this game. And when you look at the rebounds, Michigan has 28, Rutgers has 19. So
yeah, and I mean, I don't know off the top of my head, but how many blocks does Mara have?
Mara has, he's been having a lot this game. He has 3 this game.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's sort of contributing, but it's not just about getting the block. It's about forcing a horrible pass.
Yep, exactly.
Or forcing a wide shot, making them shoot way over your arm reach. There's just something to be said about making things difficult.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what the size is.
And, we were just talking about Shetter had the 3 shot on him, but he might not be showing up in the box score in terms of points, but again, he's been making his presence known on defense. Another guy who may not be really be showing that much when it comes to points. I mean, he still has 7 points, but Cadeau has made so much more of an impact than it would seem just by the fact that he has 7 points. I mean, he's 8 assists so far this game, and he's been creating a lot of great opportunities by driving into the paint, kicking it out to someone in the corner. Another guy, we're just talking about rebounds, Mara with 9 rebounds so far this game. I mean, again, it's hard to out-rebound a guy that's 7'2".
Yeah, he's somebody who simply changes the game in a way that there's ways that you can sort of go about countering some things that are going on in the game. That's not one of the things that you can do anything about.
No, that's
you
just
cannot shrink a guy.
Yeah, that's just an innate and inherent advantage that he has, and it makes it incredibly difficult to defend. Yeah. As we're approaching now, back coming into play.
They are going to get a little smaller on the court here.
Yep.
They've got both LJ Kaysen and Elliot Cadeau on the court, as well as Damari Burnett. They have a size up in the form of Mara and Shetter, but generally at the top of the key, we're going small right now.
Cadeau now with the ball, working on Lino Mark. He's near the elbow. Drives to the basket. Takes a little floater. It looks like it was a pass to Mara, who's in the paint. Gets it stripped by Lino Mark. Lino Mark now pressing quickly on the court. Goes up for the layup. It's going to be blocked by Damari Burnett. Great play there to get back. Woolley has the ball stripped away from him. It's going to be Rutgers ball, though, still. Great play there by Damari Burnett to get back quickly. Lino Mark was driving, and he still was able to block that.
That might have been the fastest break of the game in terms of just like, instead of having somebody down the court, just a fast break from one side to the other.
I mean, that's exactly what Lino Mark is known for. He's known for his speed, his explosiveness. So that's what you get out of him when you have him on the court. The pace of play immediately increases. But, yeah, credit to Damari Burnett for that chase down block. And Woolley did a great job there by getting the offensive rebound, getting the offensive rebound there. And Michigan's going to challenge this call. As the call was initially that after Shetter stripped it from Woolley, it was still going to be Rutgers ball. So we'll see what happens after this break.
They showed it on the replay board, but Shetter visibly slapped his leg, saying that it came off of the Rutgers player's leg.
Off of Woolley's leg there.
Shetter's a very animated player.
He is.
I think he's sort of a fan favorite, I think, for that reason. He was here last year. He was part of that March Madness run, but
part of it is that he's a grad student. He's one of the older guys on the team. He's one of the big vets on the team. And, even if he's been averaging so far this season about 14 minutes a game, so not necessarily on the court all the time, but when he is on the court, he brings the energy. And he's known for his locker room presence. He's known to be a leader.
Yeah, he's definitely a glue guy, as they say.
For sure.
When his name was called, at the beginning of the game, and they're announcing all the players right before we start, he got the most applause from anybody else in this this center. So, I mean, he's somebody who people, not just on the team, but watching the game, just really appreciate.
For sure.
He's also got the biggest number on the team. 42.
He does, 42. It takes a big jump there.
We have guys on Michigan going from 0 all the way to 32, and then there's nobody else number-wise until you get to Cheddar.
Until you get to Cheddar, yep. 77-43, Michigan ahead now with just over 11 minutes to play here in the second half. Again, Michigan is shooting 59% from the field compared to 38% for Rutgers. And again, the turnover differential has been the big key, I think, so far this game. Rutgers has 13 compared to Michigan's 7, which again is, and also the other big part of that is Michigan has 18 points off of turnovers compared to Rutgers only having 10. So that's what's really been hurting the Scarlet Knights is when they turn the ball over, Michigan is able to capitalize on that. And we just got the ruling on the court stands. It's going to be Rutgers basketball now.
Just want to say real quick, there are some serious implications in this game. You know, Michigan 7-0. Number 1 Purdue lost today to number 10 Iowa State in a pretty big blowout, 81-58. And later tonight, starting at 10 p.m. Eastern, Auburn will play number 2 Arizona. So we'll see how the AP poll shifts going into next week. But Michigan has a chance to go to number 1 tonight.
Yeah, and frankly, I mean, if I was Michigan, I doubt they're even thinking about that, to be honest. I think they're
I don't think they care because
they're
playing good basketball.
They're playing good basketball. It's not. They just have to finish the job, which they've already started. Inbound now by Lino Mark. He's going to find Powers at the top of the key. Guys, Lino Mark, who drives to the basket along the baseline, kicks it out to Zerneau in the corner. He's on the wing, guarded by Cadeau. Pass it out to Woolley. Woolley finds Powers in the wing, does not make his 3. Rebound Mara. Pushing up the court, LJ Kaysen makes his layup. That was quick points in transition there for the Michigan Wolverines. Rutgers did not have players back to defend that.
Great pass in transition.
Yep. Now it's going to be by Fall, guarded by Namari Burnett on the wing. Gets it to Powers. Finds Zerneau. He's going to kick it out to Woolley. Getting to Lino Mark in the corner. Airballs his shot. Namari Burnett gets the rebound, pushing it up the court now.
Cheddar's wide open on the wing.
Maury decides to take a shot himself off the back of the rim. It's going to be rebounded by the Scarlet Knights. Lino Mark now with the ball. Finds Powers on the wing, guarded by Burnett. He's going to get it to Byfall, at the top of the key. Gets it to Woolley under at the block, guarded by Cheddar. He misses his layup. He hits the bottom of the backboard, but gets his own rebound again. Now Zerneau with the ball. Gets it out to Lino Mark. It's going to be Powers on the wing. Gets past Kaysen. Nice mid-range jumper shot there, but cannot get it to go. Mara with the rebound, gets it to Cadeau. Now Michigan's turn to press up the court. Now it's going to be fouled on Cadeau that's going to be by Fall fouling him before the shot, so it's going to be an inbound now for Michigan. Dealing with a little bit of feedback here on the mics.
Personal foul. Team's 4th.
Trying to troubleshoot. Looks like it's gone away a little bit, but this is going to be an inbound now for Michigan. It's going to be Cadeau inbounding it. We have a couple subs. Morez Johnson and Yaxler on the court now. He finds Cheddar at the top of the key, gets it to Yaxel. Cheddar now going back into the paint. Yaxel guarded by Woolley. Gets it to Roddy Gale Jr. at the top of the key. Guarded by Francis. Gets it to back to Yaxel on the wing. His 3 does not go. There's Morez Johnson going up for the rebound, but it's going to be out of bounds off of him. Rutgers basketball. Again, still trying to troubleshoot a little bit of this feedback here. But Lino Mark now with the ball. Lino Mark driving.
Lino Mark.
Cadeau now with the ball. He's going to drive it to the baseline. Makes his layup on Francis. All right, dealing with a little bit of technical difficulties here. Sorry about this, folks. Air ball now by Woolley. Grabs it. Yaxel grabs it. Cadeau passes it out to Roddy Gale.
It's been a weird amount of air balls the last few minutes.
Roddy Gale with a nice left-hand laid. Nice finish at the rim. Now it's going to be 83-45, Michigan.
8 minutes and 40 seconds to play in the second half. Michigan with the possession arrow.
Yep. It's going to be Francis now. Passes to Lino Mark. Lino Mark to Woolley. Back to Francis at the M. Guarded by Morez Johnson Jr. Nice move there to get an open shot in the mid-range. Nice jumper there. Good move to get past Morez Johnson there. Cadeau now pressing up the field. Yaxel, he's going to drive to the basket. Never mind, he's going to pull it back. Cadeau at the top of the key. guarded by Lino Mark. Nice right-hand reverse lay right there. Tough basket on Lino Mark, but Rutgers is pressing. They inbounded it quickly. Tries to find Zerno under. Could not get it. Lino Mark now. Gets it back to gets it back to Woolley. His floater will not go. It's going to be a foul, though, on Yaxel, so it's going to be still possession for Rutgers.
You know what I'm noticing a lot right now is that Rutgers is trying to adapt. They're passing underneath.
Yep.
Trying to get these passes out of reach of these extremely tall Michigan players.
Yes.
They realize they cannot pass over or to the side because the wingspans and the height that they have advantage over them is just too much. So they've been passing low a lot. It's small guy ball, and it's working to a degree to get the ball around their half of the court, but they're not finding open shots because they need to be closer together to get these underpasses to work. And so they're finding themselves a little congested, especially down by the basket, down in the key. They're not finding these three-pointers to be falling as much anymore either. So they're trying to find ways to get shots to happen down low and from close range. They're having some mixed results.
No, I like that you mentioned that. Yeah, they have definitely been passing a lot more along the baseline at the bottom of the key. There's been a lot more movement, a lot more screens, and just a lot more shifts in terms of guys running throughout the paint to try and confuse this Michigan defense. So far, they've been picking it up well. The Michigan defense has, as we have a break in play now. And it is 85-47, Michigan. A little under 8 minutes to play here in this second half. Again, Michigan been pretty dominant so far throughout. Started out the game. This half started off slow, but so far pace has picked up.
Yeah, and I said that earlier. I felt like once they'd gotten a groove going, once they'd rotated a few players off the bench, that Michigan would pick up the pace. They needed to just sort of conserve the energy coming out of the break. And now the energy's picked up. There's no question how this game is going to end. Michigan is almost statistically guaranteed to win this game at this point with less than 8 minutes remaining. A 38-point lead.
Yep. And again, a big thing we've already talked. I mean, Michigan is still out rebounding the Scarlet Knights by 9. So, and again, huge impact by the height of this team, and they've just been, and that's been allowing them to really control possessions when they're getting every rebound. I mean, it's one thing to miss your shot if you're a Scarlet Knight, but then you don't really ever get a second chance, it seems, so far this half.
Right. You just don't have the height to compete for those rebounds. We said at the top of the half, Michigan has a shot to score over 100 points for the 4th time just this season in just their 8th game. They just need 15 points to do it in just under 8 minutes. Seems likely, but we'll keep our eye on it.
Yep. That's going to be 2 free throws here for Dortch. And he misses the first one off the back of the rim.
Second shot coming.
Yep, from Bryce Dortch here. He makes his second free throw. That's going to be 85-48 now. Inbounded now by, that's going to be Goodman. LJ Kaysen with the ball. Gets it to Roddy Gale at the M. LJ Kaysen back at half court, guarded by Tariq Francis.
Slowing it down.
Finds Morris Johnson, gets it to Roddy Gale. He's going to swing it across. A little bit of miscommunication there. He's trying to find Morris Johnson, and LJ Kaysen tried to save it out of bounds, but gave it to Rutgers. It's going to be a 3-ball there, missed by Tariq Francis. Rutgers gets the rebound, though, by Dylan Grant. Good, tough rebound. And he was going against Morris Johnson Jr., and there's a foul, so it's going to be 2 shots there for Dylan Grant. The crowd here in Chrysler Arena does not like that call.
It is a tough foul call. Johnson Jr. had his hands just sort of straight up there, trying to avoid the foul, and he got it anyways because he got jumped into his arms.
Yep.
But his feet aren't planted, and that's what happens.
Yep.
So
first free throw here made by Dylan Grant.
Maybe that's how Rutgers sees themselves at least getting closer to being competitive in this game, is sort of being aggressive closer to the glass, driving to the basket, just trying to draw those fouls, because if they have free throw opportunities, they have free shots.
Yep, exactly. It's going to be inbounded now by Michigan. Almost of an errant pass there. Oscar Goodman. Now he gets the ball taken away from him by Woolley. Nice layup there by Dylan Grant. Michigan's been playing sloppy these past couple possessions.
Yeah, the press from Rutgers is working a lot
yes,
here. They're pressing again just off the inbound.
LJ Kaysen now almost had the ball stripped away from him, but he doesn't. Roddy Gale gets it too. That's going to be Winters Grady in the corner there for 3, and he makes it. Michigan with a little bit different personnel now in the game. They have Oscar Goodman in and Winters Grady, and still finding a little bit of success there despite some sloppy play on their own end of the court. Tariq Francis now working on LJ Kaysen, pulls up from mid-range and makes his shot. This is going to be a timeout now by Rutgers as they've gone on a little bit of a run, Rutgers has, to cut this lead by a tiny bit. They've made a baskets last couple possessions. That was a nice jumper there by Tariq Francis.
Yeah, Rutgers hitting that shot from the elbow. It's interesting to see how they've changed the pace of play for themselves.
Yes.
You know, they're slowing it down and they're speeding it up, and they're doing it not on Michigan court but on their own accord.
Yes,
I think that's
exactly.
the key here.
They have definitely been controlling the pace of play a little bit better, and that's been large in part to the really aggressive press they've been doing. Like the past 3 possessions here that Michigan's had the ball and they're trying to inbound it, Rutgers has had almost their entire lineup here pressing high, really high press, and you know they were able to strip the ball away from LJ Kaysen on the first one of that possession, and then almost got it again before he was able to get it to Roddy Gale before Michigan got a 3. So I'll be interested to see if what Steve Peichel is talking to his lineup about, and if he's going to continue doing that high press. I'd imagine they would.
Yeah, and that just sort of opens up new opportunities for Dusty May as well.
Yep.
You know, there's all kinds of press inbound plays that I'm sure that they have saved up to run. Do they really need to dive too deep into that bag? I don't know. But just sort of finding court maybe, you know, just avoid the press entirely is probably what they might evolve into doing if they continue to have issues down by the baseline.
Yep. And especially that goes into the fact of being very athletic and agile guard play, but also the big men are very athletic for Michigan. So even when you're trying to break the press, you know, you don't only have to rely on your small guards to break that.
Yeah.
But as now we have, it's going to be Roddy Gale inbounding the ball. He's going to find LJ Kaysen back to Roddy Gale. This is, again, right, just what you're saying, they broke the press. Oscar Goodman goes for the dunk, and he makes it on, that was on Bryce Dortch. A little bit of a poster there by Goodman.
The
nice
Aussie
dunk.
with an impact.
Yep.
Oh, my God. Sorry, not the Aussie. He's a Kiwi. My bad.
Jamichael Davis now with the ball at the top of the key. He finds Grant in the corner, does not get it to go. Rebound there by Roddy Gale. Roddy Gale now working in the corner. Gets it to Morris Johnson at the top of the key. Finds LJ Kaysen. He's going to take a little bit of a step back there. Now he's working on the wing, guarded by Francis. Roddy Gale for the shot for 3. Could not get it to go. It was Woolley. A little bit of errant pass there by Scarlet Knight. They keep possession, though. Tariq Francis now at the M, guarded by LJ Kaysen. Little under 6 minutes to go here with Michigan up 90-54.
Rutgers fake the screen.
Now Tariq Francis working on, that's Winters Grady.
Driving
passes
from right
it up
to left.
Yep. Pass it out to the corner. Turnover there. Nice steal by LJ Kaysen. Gets it to Roddy Gale, who's going to pass behind the back to Morez Johnson. That was a pretty looking dunk. They had the numbers. He decides to go flashy with it. What a night for Morez Johnson and Roddy Gale.
What a gorgeous play.
Tariq Francis now passes it to Jamichael Davis. Jamichael Davis working on Roddy Gale. Goes for a shot. Does not make the 3. Rebound there by Woolley, who does get the putback. Again, Rutgers is going to press a little bit here. They have 4 players on Michigan's side of the court. Interesting inbound there.
They're continuing to inbound just by the baseline, but then quickly passing it way up court.
Winters Grady for a 3 from the wing. Does not get it to go, just short. Oh, never mind. It took a couple bounces. It looked like it was going to be short from the front of the rim.
It bounced off the rim, bounced all the way up above the shot clock counter, And then, now we have a
they're
fight.
a little
We
fight
have
now.
a fight down by the Rutgers basket.
Roddy Gale and looks like it's Roddy Gale and Woolley getting into it a little bit.
No punches thrown here, but there's
May
chest on chest. There are words being thrown around. Dusty May, I think, is already.
Dusty May's quick to get in. Doesn't need any sort of dumb technical fouls or any sort of ejections like that at this point in the game. With 4:30 left, Michigan up 95-56. There's no need to have anything like that.
You don't want to be the bad guys, just because you're winning a game by a huge margin. You don't need to be doing all that. It doesn't help, though. The student section for Michigan is right behind the Scarlet Knights.
They are letting the Scarlet Knight bench hear it right now. Refs are also having a conversation here. I wonder if someone's going to be receiving a little bit of a tech.
It might be both teams.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if it was. On the other hand, too, Michigan's bench having a little bit of fun. Some of the starters like Cadeau and Yaxel, they're just dancing over on the bench that they've been taken out.
White and red, the plays under review to see if there's any additional unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah, so they are going to issue penalties on both teams.
Yep, technicals for both. It was a technical on Roddy Gale and a that was Chris Woolley for the Scarlet Knights.
Two guys who have been contributing for both teams all night. They're going to be investigating further right now, the refs are, to see if there's any further on the team. But I think they'll probably leave it at that.
I'm sure they will,
But yeah, as you just mentioned, the Michigan guys who are on the bench right now are engaging with the student section.
They seem to be having fun.
There is a bit of a early celebration taking place.
I was also wrong. It wasn't. I had the players completely wrong. I was looking at the players that got involved secondary in the altercation. It was actually Winters Grady who made the three on the most recent possession, which again, crazy three, bounced off the front of the rim, off the top of the backward went in. Looked like when he was coming back down the court, he was talking a little bit of trash there to Dylan Grant, and they got into it. So I was actually wrong on who those players were, and because they just showed the replay, it was Dylan Grant getting into it a little bit with Winters Grady.
If you're Winters Grady, I understand why you're getting into it like that. You've been on the bench for most of the game, and now you come in and you hit 2 threes.
A true freshman coming in.
But at the same time, you have to recognize which side of this game that you're on and how you are represented when you act a certain way. So, truly an unfortunate, unnecessary interaction for both teams. It looks like is Winters Grady going to stay in this game? It looks like for now he is.
Yeah, it looks like for now he will. It looks like Winters Grady was talking that talk a little bit, and Dylan Grant did not appreciate that.
He's one of the few freshmen that's actually on this team. It's mostly built up of upperclassmen, and graduates, transfers, exactly. But more so people who have been here, done that. And freshmen are important to any team.
Dylan Grant, one of the only returning players on the Scarlet Knights roster. They only have 4 returning players to the lineup from last season. He is one of them, going into his sophomore season right now.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That Rutgers in recent memory has had great teams.
Yeah.
Double technical stands on number 10 White and number 9
Yep.
Red.
The double technical stand for both of them.
Of the ball just inside midcourt with the game clock at 4:33 and the shot clock at 23.
All right, so nothing changes.
Yeah, nothing
we
changes.
Just wasted 4 minutes of our time, but we ball.
But yeah, like you said, Rutgers has had. Just in this most recent draft, they had two top 5 picks in the NBA draft with Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper, and I think they're definitely feeling it the absence of those 2 players a little bit this season.
When you lose NBA caliber talent of that magnitude twice in the same draft, it completely reshapes what your team looks like.
And they have 7 freshmen on the team, so Rutgers they have a lot of upside. I think this team does. A lot of guys, and Chris Peichel is a great coach. He's going into his 10th season. He is a winner. He knows how to develop players.
Absolutely.
So look for this Rutgers team to be doing pretty well in the coming years as some of these younger guys develop.
And I think Peichel also does a great job of developing a respectful energy on his basketball teams. They're very diplomatic. They're very respectful when they play other teams.
Now it's going to be driven by Powers there. It looked like it might have been blocked by Malik Cordell. Now Trey McKinney with the ball at the top of the key for Michigan. He's working on that was Dortch. Now LJ Kasich for a 3 off the back of the rim. Does not get it to go. Goodman with the rebound. Alley-oop to Malik Cordell, and that has just made this stadium erupt. That was an incredible alley-oop there by a couple of the guys that have been on the bench this game, and that's just great to see.
Michigan slowly taking out their starters and putting in bench guys. It's 97-56 with 3 minutes and 43 seconds to play.
Francis with the ball now. Gets it to Powers in the corner. Gets it back to Francis. He's going to act like he was going to shoot a shot. Does not. Hits it back to Powers in the corner. Rebound Michigan. Nice rebound there by Cordell. Trey McKinney now pushing on Davis. Or no, sorry, that was on Francis, and he's going to foul him. Looks like Trey McKinney is okay.
Sort of an awkward situation there. He sort of lost the ball before anything else happened. And the ball kicked off his foot. And I don't even know when the foul happens during this play, but just a weird sort of situation as he was driving 1-on-2 towards the basket. For Michigan, I guess that's objectively sort of like the best case scenario in a 1-on-2. You lose possession of the ball. Oh, nope, now I'm fouled.
Exactly,
so.
Yeah, like you say, at 97-56 here with 3:30 left in this second half. It's been all Michigan all game, not just this half, but all Michigan all game pretty much. And now we have the Michigan fight song ringing through Chrysler Arena. It's starting to clear out a little bit as this game has come to a conclusion and Michigan's up so much. People are starting to leave to try and beat a bit of the traffic, I'd imagine.
Specifically right now, I'm seeing lots of people at the exits. You know, everyone is just happy who are here. This was a sold-out game at Chrysler Center. This was a game that started going Michigan's way and never changed course.
I will say, though, I'm sure a lot of the fans here are wishing that they could go tune in if things are shaken out differently for the Michigan football team. But, you know, now it's basketball season, and Michigan fans are going to be more than happy to cheer on these Michigan Wolverines men's basketball players.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Michigan basketball super fan, I suggest tuning in to Arizona to their game. You know, if they lose tonight, it's a real swing in the AP poll for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Other thing I will say is WCBN Sports will be live at Yost Arena for a huge matchup in hockey. Michigan playing Michigan State. They beat them 3-0 last night, and it's going to be another big rivalry game against the number 1 and number 3 hockey teams in the country going against each other. In fact, Perry, your guys' play-by-play announcer for the first half of this game, is on his way to Yost right now to broadcast that hockey game alongside Ethan Summers of WCBN Sports. So definitely tune into that after we are done with this broadcast.
Yeah, just jump live streams, go from one to the next. That game starts in just about an hour.
Yep. Again, we have 97-56, Michigan up, 3:30 left out. We almost are out of this media timeout.
There's a guy with a whiteboard in the student section. He's sort of passing it around. But he stuff on it. Right now it says, "I love basketball." Earlier, about 10 minutes ago, it said #1 AP poll.
Yeah, and again, I mean, it'll be dependent on what happens with the Arizona game, so we will see. But there's going to be some free throws here for Trey McKinney. As he misses the first one, rattled around the rim on that first one.
Yeah.
He'll look to make his second. He's going to make his second free throw. Now Lino Mark now taking it up the court for Rutgers. Michigan on a 6-0 run in the past minute and a half. So he Powers now at the top of the key, guarded by Goodman. Gets it back to Lino Mark along the wing. He's going to find Javonte Ware. Now Lino Mark driving, kicks it out to, kicked it out to Dortch, who is going to attempt the floater, but it's going to be a foul. There's going to be a foul on Oscar Goodman there, so it's going to be free throws now for Bryce Dortch.
Rutgers is now in the bonus. The line is shooting 2 for Rutgers.
Rutgers is now in the bonus. This is a good test for both teams right now in the last 3 minutes and 3 seconds of the game, as Rutgers sort of sees, okay, with guys who are not NBA caliber players that are the starters of Michigan, who do we go up against right now? How do we match up with a team that's a little more comparable? What's our pace of play like? And for Michigan, these bench players who have come in, you know, you've got Goodman in the game.
Yep. He missed his second free throw, by the way, and he kicks it back out to Powers, who made the 3 on the wing. Sorry to interrupt you there, but
no, you're
little bit of a quick play there for Rutgers as they make a 3-point shot.
got Goodwin in the game. You've got Cordell in the game. You've got Winters Grady.
Trey McKinney now working. Finds Cordell. Could not get it there, but he's fouled by Badilau.
These are three guys who are important to this team in their own respective way. You've got these are the three most important freshmen on this team.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so this is really important because I think objectively Rutgers is probably one of the weakest opponents they played, if not the weakest so far this year. And for them to get this opportunity to get more minutes and see where they're at, because they're sort of the base of this bench.
Yep.
And so this is a huge benchmarking couple of minutes for these three guys.
As Malik Cordell misses his first free throw, going to look to make that second. He's going to miss the second one off the back of the glass. A little bit of fighting there for the rebound. A little bit of a hard foul there from Javonte Ware on Trey McKinney.
Guys on both teams go down hard to the floor. I would just like to remind anybody listening that Villanova is Michigan's next opponent on December 9th on Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. And the student section's aware of it. The whiteboard now reads Villanova next.
Yep. And that WCBN Live will be here again for that broadcast, so tune into that next Tuesday.
Again, 6:30 p.m.
Yep, that should be a good game. I mean, Villanova not ranked, but they're a good basketball program.
They're a team that historically is just always there. Always. And so they may not be ranked yet, but you know that there's a chance they could be, and even if they never are, the coaching staff is good. Everything that goes into Villanova basketball is something to be worried about if you're any team at any time.
Plays under review to see if it meets the criteria for a possible flagrant foul.
So it looks like they called a foul on Trey McKinney there under the basket there, and they're looking to see if they are gonna upgrade that to a flagrant foul on Trey McKinney. We'll see. I don't think it should be. I don't think there was enough.
So as you can hear, based off of our microphone from the crowd here, people are not liking that call.
These fans here at Chrysler Arena do not agree with that call. Personally, I don't think it should be upgraded to a flagrant. I don't think there was enough intent there for it. Was a little bit. There was a little bit of fighting there for the ball. Some limbs and arms going everywhere.
So
but I don't think that should be a flagrant.
I've got two things here. One, Michigan. So on the play here, McKinney's going for the ball, and he does slap the guy across the face. It is an accident that you can clear. It's entirely unintentional. So whether or not intention goes into a flagrant, I think it absolutely does, and that's sort of like the benchmark for a flagrant.
Yep.
So if you want to say that there's no intentionality here, which I don't think there is, I don't think this should be a flagrant. But also the reaction from the crowd, and this being the late minutes of this game, it feels, I don't know, unethical to move this up to a flagrant so late in the game when it's kind of unclear whether there's intentionality to it.
Yeah.
At this point, the Chrysler Center is really, really quite emptied out. A lot of people have left. The student section is still entirely full.
The bottom part of the student section, the maze rage they call it here, is still very full. Again, we're going to go back to the whiteboard. They have a now best front court ever, and it's hard to disagree with that. With the games that Yaxel and Morez Johnson and Mara have had this game, I mean, it's hard to deny that.
It's hard to disagree. These are guys who have completely transformed the way that Michigan basketball is viewed, not just by Michigan students, but by the nation. There have been people for the last few weeks who have said Michigan's not a #1 team. Michigan shouldn't even be ranked. And now every single game they come out and they win. And they were 7-0 coming into this game. They're going to leave this game 8-0. They're 2 points away from making it a 100-point game for the 4th time in 8 games. I mean, this is a team that continues to impress.
They are upgrading a flagrant foul on Trey McKinney.
Those fouls will offset.
Oh, but they also did upgrade they also gave a flagrant to Javonte Ware, so those fouls are going to offset their.
See, I just don't understand why you'd upgrade it for anyone here. It's just not the kind of game.
Especially if they're just going to end up being offset.
Yeah. But these are players who are not trying to hurt each other right now, and that just feels like a disservice to both teams, to the fans, to the sport. I mean, that's just not what the rules are supposed to be there for. But Rutgers is going to inbound the ball anyways. It's going to be Caden Powers taking it up.
Powers now at the M, guarded by Trey McKinney. He's going to drive to his left. He's looking for the pass for Lino Mark, but there's absolutely no one there, so the ball's going to go out of bounds. It's going to be Winters Grady now with an inbound.
Just sort of a soft toss right
out
of
Lino Mark, but Lino Mark had already made his cut. LJ Kaysen now taking it up the court, guarded by Lino Mark.
2 minutes and 20 seconds to play in the second half. Michigan 2 points away
Winters
from
Grady.
100.
Winters Grady double team there. LJ Kaysen across the court to, that was Oscar Goodman. Now Trey McKinney driving along the baseline, gets fouled before he can get the layup off. It's going to be a foul on Lino Mark. That's Lino Mark's third foul, I believe. Now they're going to bringing in, that's going to be Howard Isley, Jr., after the free throw, that is. After Trey McKinney takes his 2 free throws, Howard Isley Jr. will be coming in.
Yeah, for his first time this game, the sophomore, 6 feet tall out of New York.
Yep. Now Trey McKinney here to attempt his first free throw of this set. He makes it.
Isley doesn't see a lot of time.
Yeah,
he's the shortest guy on this team.
There was a lot of hype, and you can hear it now. The crowd is hyped to have Howard Isley in this game.
The crowd and the bench going nuts for him being in the game right now.
Now Trey McKinney's going to go attempt his second free throw. He makes the second one, so now Michigan has crossed the 100 mark. We have just over 2 minutes to play here. It's 100-60 Michigan. Lino Mark taking the ball up the court for the Scarlet Knights.
Both teams in the bonus now.
Isley guarding around. Javonte Ware in the corner, gets it to Badilau, and gets it back to, nice shot there, but it's blocked, I think, by Oscar Goodman. That was Badilau making a shot, gets blocked. Never mind, I think there was an air ball, just a straight up air ball. It was pretty short.
Yeah, I looked upon first glance that it might have been blocked because it just didn't have the speed, but I think it just sort of slipped out of his hands coming out.
Trey McKinney now taking up the court, working on, that is Hayden Powers. Good cut there by Howard Isley, but they did not find him with the pass.
Isley's creating space, though. He finds himself back at the top of the key.
Gets it right back, gets a pass, but gets it right back to Trey McKinney.
The crowd's going nuts just for him to get a touch on the ball.
We're going to call, it looked like Trey McKinney almost had a backcourt violation, but there was a foul on by Javonte Ware there right before it would have been a backcourt.
It was 2-on-1 on McKinney, and he literally got pushed into the backcourt.
Yeah, they were trying to press.
Is exactly what the foul was called for.
They were trying to trap him along the half-court line, but there's going to be 2 more free throws for Trey McKinney now. As, again, Howard Isley is at the top of the key, waiting. He does not make the first one, Trey McKinney, but he will get a second chance. It was not a 1-and-1. Now, substitute here for Scarlet Knights. Badalow's coming out for, that's going to be Zerno coming in.
Isley gives McKinney a pat in the back, says, "You got this." Here's his second shot. Coming now.
He makes his second free throw, so that's going to, now Michigan has scored more than 100 points now. Now, Lino Mark taking up the court. Just over a minute to play here in Chrysler Arena. Zerno with the ball, left wing, gets it Javonte Ware at the top of the key, goes for a mid-range shot, could not get it to go. Rebound Michigan, good rebound there by Oscar Goodman. Trey McKinney's now going to take play.
These have been really great minutes for guys who have not had a lot of playing time.
Yep. Trey McKinney with the ball. Howard Isley's going to make a cut. We're going to find him in the corner. He's going to take a shot for 3. Could not get it to go. Hit off the backboard. Lino Mark now with the ball. He's going to drive on. He could not get it there. He was trying to drive on Malik Cordell, and that was a nice block there by Cordell. He tried him, but Cordell said no. Trey McKinney now gets it to Corbet. He's on the wing. He's going to drive into the key. Passes. They tried to swing it out to Oscar Goodman, but couldn't quite find him. A little bit too much juice on that pass. Oscar Goodman couldn't catch it. And yeah, like we've been saying, every time Isley touches the ball, I mean, this crowd goes crazy.
When he went to shoot that corner three, the whole student section erupted,
Yep.
and then it hit off the side of the backboard. Everyone went, "Oh!"
Now, Rutgers with the ball. Lino Mark attempted a three, but couldn't get it to go. Rebound by Oscar Goodman. Gets it stripped by a second there by Powers.
Yeah,
but
that Rutgers
keeps
pressure continues to
Yep.
persist.
Now it looks like Oscar Goodman is just going to dribble it out.
They give it to Isley to dribble it out.
They give it to
5 seconds to go. Isley's ball. Don't shoot it, Isley.
They give it to Isley. Dap subs or no, as that's going to close it out here in Chrysler Arena in Ann Arbor. Michigan wins 101-60. They shot 39 for 65 for 60% shooting, and compared to Rutgers' 36% shooting. Top players of the game for Michigan, Mourtzinos Johnson Jr. scored 22 points. Best player for Rutgers was probably Caden Powers with 13 points. Yeah, Michigan's going to go into this game against Villanova on a high note. They continue their undefeated streak. They open up Big Ten play with a win here at home. They are 1-0 in Big Ten play. Tough stretch of schedule here for Rutgers as they opened up Big Ten play with Rutgers and now Michigan. So they're going to be looking to rebound in their next game.
Yeah, Rutgers entered this game 0-1 in Big Ten play. They leave it 0-2 in Big Ten play. The record is a mismatch.
And
it's just unfortunate the season that Rutgers is having and potentially could have going forward.
And I believe you said this was their 4th or 5th time scoring 100 points, Michigan.
This is Michigan's fourth time
in 8 games. So they're
scoring 100 or more points. They had only 50 points at the first half mark, and they managed to end with 101. So it was pretty even between the two halves.
And I think that's about going to end it for us here in Chrysler Arena. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, Michigan will have another WCBN is going to be live from Yost Arena for the matchup between number 1 and number 3 hockey teams, Michigan and Michigan State. We encourage you to tune into that. That's going to be it here in Ann Arbor from myself, Evan Anderson, and Dylan Phillips. Thank you. We're going to leave you how we always leave you, with a good night and a go blue.